Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, McGraw.
What do you call a Viking who lost his boat?
What do you call a Viking who lost his boat? I don't know. What would you call a Viking who lost his boat?
A hiking.
So, no, that's comedy. Oh, that's comedy. Oh, that's comedy.
Because he has to walk now.
Get it? Because he doesn't have a boat.
He has to walk.
He has to walk. All right, there you go. Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent, is at the White House, and President Trump canceling military practice and military maneuvers with South Korea because he thinks North Korea is our friend, or much more friendlier. Karen Travers got that story, plus the latest in Iran and the Strait. Jim Ryan, ABC News. It's got a story of military recruitment is through the roof. Jim Ryan's got that story. Mike Dubusky, Tech Tuesday. Facebook in court again. And we'll get into that with Mike Dubusky. Bob Ramsey going to talk a little sports. Cardinals, one out away from that sweep yesterday. That was a tough one. Antonio French going to be along. Altair Traveling Cruises going to be along. Ryan Raphael going to be along. Phone calls in the 9 o'clock hour. Tomorrow, Ben Barnett's bringing some donuts.
Yep.
So we got lots to get to with all of that. And then Thursday is our St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer Radiothon, which, how many years we've been doing? 15 years now? It's got to be 15 years. When you blink your eyes, it's 15 years. Right, we've ended up raising a lot of money for those guys.
And what is it again?
It's a wonderful cause.
Say that again, please.
St. Louis. It's an awkward name. St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. And I don't know, 50 years or so ago, these prominent men got together and said, "Look, we don't know anything about cancer, and we don't know anything about this, but we want to do something." So these businessmen got together and started a group called St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. And their goal was to raise money and then give grants to already existing wonderful organizations. So whether it's, and it's not just the latest and greatest with gene splitting technology.
Can it be like St. Jude's kind of stuff, or like?
Well, it's like they give to local charities like. When you're in the middle of breast cancer, a certain share is beneficial when you're going through chemo.
Sure.
So they give money to charities to raise funds to help buy this chair.
Nice.
There's an organization, I forget the name of it, but this wonderful man. Every time I see him, I just start crying. He's such a nice man. His wife died of cancer, and he takes the kids, the family on one last vacation type of deal. And as you're I can't interview the guy because it's so beautiful and so heartbreaking that I just can't. I mean, it's just, and then like the people going through cancer, they have organizations, charities where you hire a maid or people come into your house and clean your house for you. So you're not sitting in, 2-month-old laundry. So it's like the highest of highest, but it's also just helping people every day with cancer. And so it is a wonderful organization, and we've been involved with it for years and years and years. During COVID, we pared it down a little bit and kept it in house, and so we now do it here from the studio. But it's a fun. It's a good way to sort of raise awareness and sort of put a spotlight on some of these insanely wonderful angels who have oftentimes gone through charity or gone through hell and have, decided to fight back and help others in their same situation. And the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer just raises money and then hands out these wonderful grants to these people. Wow. Yeah. So it is a wonderful, wonderful organization.
And that's this Thursday?
It's this Thursday. We've been doing it now for, 15 years now. All right. So that's the plan for today. What else we got going on? 636. It's not an awkward name. Do you really have? It's really. I didn't mean it as an insult. Really? I mean, it's just not. Never mind.
That was someone who helped name it.
Sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
That whole thing that I talked about. That's what you took away from that. The wonderful nature of all these wonderful people doing all these wonderful things and this wonderful charity raising money for the last 50 years for all of these wonderful things. That's the one thing you harp on.
Well, that's a good example of while they were busy typing that snark, like criticizing you, they were not hearing the rest of what you're saying about the,
That's
you know what
a
I
good
mean?
point too. Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm so busy to get you and call you a name and call you on that one thing that you said. That,
Right.
Oh, I just missed the redeeming qualities of that conversation.
Right.
So there we go. We're on our way.
It's man, you give me a hug. Come here and just give me a hug. 636. Just give me a hug. It's really quite unbelievable. It's
right though.
It's really.
If you really think about it, how much time did it take?
Wait. It's really just unbelievable. Just relax.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's crazy. All right. Let's do, a little heads up on the weather. It was a heavy, dense fog coming in. Did you guys have that coming in?
No, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
No, but I did. I remember talking about yesterday, like until about 8 this morning, there should be patchy fog.
It is heavy, dense fog coming in from St. Charles over the Missouri River, Page Avenue.
Yeah.
I guess that little, sort of sunken area, a little floodplain area where you go through 141 over there by Page Avenue. It is heavy, 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 dense fog. So just be a little careful while you're
real
out
quick.
and about.
I know this is super random. You know, the whole concept of like, if you can't sleep, count sheep. Like, it's a very old school, and so in movies and stuff, and you see it, or cartoons, like they're sleeping in the bubble will be sheep jumping over like a fence.
Yes.
1, 2. And then it occurred to me, is that supposed to be the way, or is it supposed to be like counting sheep that are in a huge like corral? Because there's so many of them. So you're like 1, 2, 3. And by
in
the
your
time,
own mind, you can really create anything you want.
I'm sure that's the case. I was just curious if most
sure if
people
you're
are doing it
counting
one by one over a fence, or if they're just doing a big group of sheep.
If you're counting sheep in like a meatpacking plant,
right?
They're going to come in and tell you to stop thinking that. They're going to knock on your door and say, "Excuse me, you're thinking wrong." Try and think of sheep in a nicer way.
How often are sheep jumping
It's a
over
horrible name.
jumping over fences like that too, one by one? But anyway,
Having a hard time sleeping last night?
maybe so.
Maybe if you'd stop thinking that way and started counting sheep, you'd get to sleep faster. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, they've cleared an accident on 70 West at St. Charles Rock Road. A reminder, 64 West is closed between 255 in Caseyville and 18th Street in East St. Louis for bridge repairs. The closure lasts until next Monday, August 24th. Drivers are advised to take 255 north to westbound 5570. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm meteorologist Chance Koch with your first alert forecast. We're tracking highs towards the upper 80s today, partly sunny skies after a little bit of a cooler start with temperatures towards the upper 60s. Into the deep overnight hours early Wednesday morning, talking between 2 to 4 a.m., Going to be tracking scattered showers and storms becoming widespread by Wednesday morning's AM commute. Could see some gusty winds, some heavier downpours as our primary threats. That'll remain scattered to isolated as we head towards the afternoon hours, drying out into Thursday, with highs towards mid-80s. Into Thursday afternoon, we'll look at a lot of sunshine towards the upcoming weekend ahead. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Scott for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, get outside today and get in your car. And dare I say, it's almost delightful. Last night, sitting on the new outdoor living deck, almost delightful, if I may sort of tempt the fate of the weather gods. Man, it's really nice out there. I don't think we're out of it yet. Maybe another heat wave will come your way, but Gelmish and Sons needs a tip of the cap for getting us through, or at least mostly through, a St. Louis summer. My sister's in town, and she says, "Is it always like this?" Yeah, it's always it's always 2 or 3 week stretch where it is just brutal. And Gelmish and Sons knows this. And last summer and now this summer, this is what they do. They've been doing this in St. Louis summers for 76 years. They keep on keeping on over there at Gelmish and Sons. I'm sure they've gotten a couple of knocks on the door. Hey, you want to sell out and go cash in? And Gelmish and Sons never do it. They are a St. Louis family through and through. They understand that it's boots on the ground, all hands on deck to make sure you go through a summer like this or a winter where it's cold and bitter. It's dangerous. Weather can turn dangerous, and Gelmish and Sons understands this, and that's why they are the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. So for all of your heating and cooling needs, whether you're remodeling, getting through a heat wave, or having to deal with a cold snap, Gelmish and Sons is your go-to for all these many years. I am not only their spokesman, I am also a longtime customer. Happy customer, to say the least. 314-993-1110 or GelmishandSons.com.
The Big 550 KTRS is proud to be celebrating 30 years of being the talk of St. Louis and looking forward to another 30 years. But we want to hear from you and get your thoughts on what you like and don't like and what we can do better. Go to KTRS.com or to the KTRS app and take our 30th anniversary listener survey. We thank you in advance, and once you take the survey, you'll be registered for a chance to win one of 5 $200 Visa gift cards from the Big 550, the talk of St. Louis.
Lauren, can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
If your parents were buying a home tomorrow, would you represent them any differently than one of your clients?
Not a chance. And when I say that, I mean, I treat my clients exactly like I'd treat my parents. Same honesty, same advice, same negotiation. Every client gets the same service.
Okay, second question. If one of your closest friends called you and said, I found a house, I'm in love with it, but you knew it was a bad decision, what would you do?
I've already done it before. I tell them no, don't buy it. My job isn't to sell people houses. It's to help them make good decisions. And sometimes that means they don't get to buy anything that day.
That's exactly why I've sent my friends and family to Lauren for years.
I mean, it's simple. Buying and selling a house, it's a big deal. And people deserve to have someone who's willing to tell them what they need to hear and not just what they want to hear.
Exactly. If you already know Lauren from listening every week, then you already know the kind of person she is. When it's time to make your move, give Lauren Risley Realty a call at 314-775-0684.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So your next 5 minutes could be your most productive 5 minutes in years, at least when it comes to your finances anyway. That's all it takes to find out exactly how much you'll save joining MediShare versus what you're paying for healthcare. It's very typical for people to find out they can save hundreds a month, thousands a year. The typical family saves up to month. And healthcare sharing is different. It's refreshing. We know from member surveys, people love saving the money, of course, but they also just like MediShare more than what they were doing before for healthcare costs. And it's not a new thing. It's been proven for more than 30 years. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are part of this. So call them now. They are not what you can questions answered. Your next 5 minutes could mean saving hundreds a month. And here is the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Tune in to the Frank and Jill Show on Thursday mornings at 10:35 to catch Everything You Need to Know by Jeff, powered by Banner Construction. Find out what's going on in St. Louis and where St. Louisans go when they head out of town. Thursdays with Frank and Jill.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talk and Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. Live from Studio 550, this is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
I know that this is on the tip of my tongue. Who is it?
Chic.
Oh, La Freak. She's La Chic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dance, yowza, yowza, yowza.
What you should do is you should play like this song and then play the number one song in America today.
This was the number one song in 1979.
Just to see how the world has changed. And like, these songs are, I mean, it's just totally biased comment. Right? And totally only said.
This is the number one song in the country now.
Is this written by a human?
This is Ella Langley, Choosing Texas. It's a country song.
Oh, all right. Country doesn't count.
But it's the number one song in the country.
Oh, it's a crossover
It's
hit?
the pop song,
Oh.
yeah.
I like the song.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay, but that's not like a normal number one song. Normally, country doesn't cross over to pop, does it?
The top 5 songs in the country last week were all country songs.
Okay, so one could argue that top 40's dead, or pop music's dead. It's all country now. Is country sort of
Until the next BTS or Harry Styles or something like that. comes
country
out.
is king. I was country before country was cool. Cool. Heads up. But you listen to a song. I don't know. I'll shut up. This. Tim McGraw coming to the Riverport Amphitheater, whatever we're calling it
Hollywood
these days.
Casino Amphitheater.
Thank you.
That's an awkward name.
In September, Billy Idol Hollywood Casino. It's a nice day to tour again. Old Dominion is playing with Busta Rhymes and Blues Brothers and the Sacred Heart. That's at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, September. Casey Musgraves, she's country, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so is Old Dominion.
Old Dominion's country, yeah. I saw them at Busch Stadium, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody dragged me somebody dragged me there to see Busch. They opened up for
Eagles?
Kenny Chesney.
Oh, maybe.
Is that possible? Casey Musgraves, we mentioned. Shabuzi with Brittany Spencer. Tim McGraw, the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour. September 17th. It's a Thursday at the Hollywood Amphitheater. Jerry Seinfeld at the Fox Theater. One of the greats of all time. Still touring, man. This guy's still touring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy's got all the money in the world, and he still yearns for getting up on stage and telling jokes.
Fresh material.
That he told last night in Des Moines.
But this is fresh material.
Well, yeah, but not fresh material from last night.
Correct.
Yeah. It's a new script. But again, if I had the money Jerry Seinfeld has, I'm not so sure I do tomorrow's show. I mean, it's amazing. Not that I don't love sitting here with you people getting yelled at for the most innocuous things in the world, but Martin Lawrence, Stiefel Theater, September 26th. Those are the biggies for the fall. And then,
Zach Brown Band is on September 11th at Enterprise Center, too.
The Zach Brown Band.
Mm-hmm. You get your chicken fried.
And we should tell you, every single concert at Enterprise Center you have to be at.
Correct.
You are at every single event. Every Disney on Ice, everything?
99% of them.
Okay. All right. What about like the Mo Valley tournament and stuff?
They're every game.
Every game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in charge of the music.
I'm in charge of the music, but for like concerts and Disney on Ice, things like that,
yeah,
I'm in charge of the ribbon boards.
Oh, okay. So those aren't all part of the presentation, or are they?
They are.
You just got to hit the buttons.
Yeah.
Got it. When does hockey start?
I mean,
it seems like they haven't played in 4 years.
We are less than 45 days away.
Okay. So October, right?
The first home game is October 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The first game of the season is October 2nd. Then they're on the road for 3 games, and then this first home game.
Gotcha. I mean, hockey hasn't played since what, April?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long off season for hockey, man. I know the playoffs go for as long as the season goes, and if you don't make the playoffs, you don't play for all that time. But I mean, that's a long off season for the Cardinals or for the Blues. All right, 6:30 here, Big 550 KTRS. Karen Travers is going to join us here after traffic and weather and a quick look at the news. Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw 64 West is jammed between Illinois 157 and 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues through 15th Street in East St. Louis. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
70 degrees right now, on its way to 88 degrees. Plenty of sunshine later today, though some heavy, dense fog in some low-lying areas this morning as you get up and you go to work. So watch out for that. But a high of 88 degrees today. And then tomorrow, we're going to call for a slight chance of rain tomorrow. And then we're like this all week long in the mid-80s with that severe heat at bay, at least for a while. 70 right now at 6:31. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Florida voters cast ballots today or Republican and Democrat nominees for governor, U.S. Senate, and several congressional races. The primaries will define a midterm ballot set to test President Donald Trump's grip on his adopted state. A pivotal trial for Meta Platforms is set to kick off today in a California federal court. Attorneys general from California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey are seeking extensive financial damages, plus changes to how the company operates Facebook and Instagram. 29 states sued the tech giant in 2023 over child safety and privacy. The other 25 will go to trial later. In local headlines, the state of Missouri is losing its budget director. Yesterday, Governor Mike Kehoe announced that Dan Hogg will retire effective October 1st, following 11 years of service as budget director and 31 years of state government service. A St. Louis TSA dog has earned a spot in the Final Four of TSA's 2026 Cutest Canine Contest. Zero, a 9-year-old German Shepherd and an explosives detection canine at Lambert, is competing against Bolt, a 3-year-old German short-haired pointer from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, in the first semifinal matchup. 70 degrees. Time now is 6:31. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Let's talk windows and doors, because if you need windows and doors, you might need to call my neighbor, Larry Thornton. He's been doing this a long time, 38, 39 years, and is so well respected in the window industry. He brought his son into the business a number of years ago, and the two of them together have been doing it and doing it right. So if you need windows or you need doors, the window store is where you want to go. Why? Let's talk about the quality of the windows. Yes, they have actual quality windows and all the quality, so they can get you whatever type of style, design you want when it comes to windows and doors. You want the vinyl replacement, you want wood windows, you want anything in between. Window store can do it all. Windows and doors. Price, you betcha. They'll beat every price in town. They don't need to make a whole lot of money because they don't have a whole lot of overhead. They have a small little office out here in Westport, and they go about their business very modest and very successful all these many years. They've got great staff. They got great installers who've been with them for 15, 20, 25, 30 years. It's truly amazing what they can do with a hometown bent to it. So you want quality windows and quality doors from a quality family? It's the window store. When you're ready, 314-739-0002, WSWindow.net.
Summer isn't over until you've experienced the 2026 DuCoin State Fair. Join the fun August 28th through September 7th in DuCoin, Illinois, with free gate admission every day. Enjoy thrilling carnival rides, mouth-watering fair food, livestock shows, family attractions, and incredible grandstand entertainment. Featuring stars like Wiz Khalifa, Tyler Hubbard, Night Ranger, Russell Dickerson, and more. Make memories the whole family will love. See the full entertainment lineup and plan your visit today at dsf.illinois.gov. That's the 2026 DuCoin State Fair, where Illinois comes together.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
President Trump opening up a new front in his war of words, this time in South Korea, calling off some apparent military maneuvers. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers joins us to talk about it. Karen, what's going on here?
And the president surprised military officials with this post over the weekend, where he said that he was directing the defense secretary to substantially reduce joint U.S. South Korean military exercises. They were scheduled to start yesterday. And they did begin yesterday, and they take place over 11 days. These are long planned. They've also been going on for about a half a century. But the president said in his post and in comments yesterday in the Oval Office a couple reasons why he wanted these to be scaled back. One, he talked about his very good relationship with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, and he said that these drills are inappropriate and hostile toward North Korea. He also said that they're costly and that the costs are being paid for by the U.S., and he went on to criticize South Korea for not joining the U.S. in the war against Iran. He was pushed on this yesterday in the Oval Office, but he defended it and said that by doing this, he's making things safer and that Kim Jong-un has always treated him with great respect. But, it's really notable when you look at this, given the relationship that the U.S. has with South Korea and the fact that North Korea has sent troops to fight alongside the Russians against Ukraine. They've supplied Iran with missile technology and weapons. And since the president's first term, when he had those very high-profile summits trying to achieve a goal of denuclearization, they've just expanded their atomic weapons stockpile.
Did I hear you right that North Korea has helped Iran? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah. They have supplied Iran with missile technology and weapons.
Okay. Also, I thought he called off the exercises. You said that the exercises went on as scheduled?
He called on Hegseth to substantially reduce them, not to cancel them, and they did begin yesterday. There are a lot of questions as to whether or not the reduction had begun or they started as planned. We asked the White House this, we asked the Pentagon this, and the Pentagon was referring us to the White House. The White House was referring us to the president's comments and his post, where he made it very clear that that was what he wanted to see the defense secretary do.
Any chance on President Trump asking North Korea to help us out with Iran?
Well, they're helping Iran right now, so I don't know if that would really go very well because they're on the other side of this at this point.
Well, I mean, he's upset with South Korea for not helping us. I was wondering if the ask was going to go out to North Korea, but we'll leave that as it is right now. Strange times in Washington, D.C. Karen Travers, ABC News. Good stuff. Thanks for checking in.
Have a great day. Thanks.
You got it, Karen Travers. I did not know that North Korea was helping out Iran. I knew they were sort of helping out Russia, but I did not know that they were helping out Iran with some helpful missile technology. Didn't see that one coming. Got to be honest with you on that one.
Well, you knew Russia was helping Iran.
I knew Russia was helping Iran, right? That's been out there in the news, but I didn't know that North Korea was. That was interesting. 640 here at Big 550 KTRS. Jim Ryan's going to be joining us. Military recruitment is back and better than ever. And then at 7:05, I'm going to tell you about a trip I made yesterday. I had to run an errand. And I came across a part of St. Louis I've never been before. And it was somewhat disorientating because have you ever been to a place where you've never been, you kind of don't know how to get out of there? You don't know if you go left or right or center.
Sure.
And you're like, wait a minute, maybe I should put my GPS on to get me home in your own hometown. Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I don't really know how to get out of here.
Yes.
And then you and then like you get to the end of the block and you're like, oh, I didn't know that road ended here.
That was almost like every time I'm in Soulard. I don't know why.
Alcohol.
I don't think I've never get to wherever I'm going directly. You know what I mean? It's always like all these streets, and I'm like,
is it on this block
like
or
I know
is it on
where
the
it
next
is.
block?
Correct. But almost every time in Soulard. How do I get out? What's the fastest way to get?
Let me just keep on meandering until I find the corner I'm looking for. All right, we'll do all of that coming up here. 6:40.
Wait, you're going to tell us where you were
in a half hour?
Well, I'll tell you at. You want me to tell you at 7:05? You want me to tell you now? We have a couple minutes to tell you now.
We got time now, right?
I cut some branches off of a tree that I have. Not worthy of calling Ben Barnett. They were literally just little tiny branches, and I used a little drywall saw, and I just and then Emerson and I put them in the back of the Johnny Londoff truck, and then I tied them down, and then yesterday I was going to take them to a not the dump, but to a green recycling place and dispose of it properly. So I, go on my phone, where do I, dump off landscaping material? And it sent me to St. Louis Composting.
Okay.
And with they have a number of different options. And I just found myself over here in Maryland Heights. So I went over to the Maryland Heights St. Louis Composting site, kind of near Pattonville High School. Now, I've been to Pattonville High School a number of times, but I've never gone this way to Pattonville High School.
Okay.
All of a sudden, Pattonville High School is on my right, and this time it's on my left. I'm like, oh, I know that road got to here. Interesting, right? And then I took my GPS and I meandered around to St. Louis Composting, somewhere in Maryland Heights. Have you been to this place? It's fascinating.
Yeah, the huge.
It is fascinating. It's a dump for all things organic.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not bottles or cans or.
It's all things like biodegradable.
It's right. It's tree stumps and roots and leaves and trees and everything. So you walk into you drive into this place, and it's just a sea of acres, and there's one container that seems permanent, and there's a little window in this container in these metal giant semi containers, and there's a woman in there, very nice. She says, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, what did I say? I'm not a business. I'm a homeowner. She stares at me like, yeah, no kidding. And I'm like, I have some branches that I need to dispose of. So she gets out, she looks at it, she's like, $50, $53. I don't know why she charged me $53, but she charged me $53. And then then I'm like, where do I take it? And she's like, go here, make a left, go down to the guy and dump it into the pile. So I'm kind of like, okay. Meanwhile, I'm in between these gigantic semi-trucks full of landscaping waste. I mean, just gigantic trucks. So I go and I'm in my little Johnny Londoff truck, and I get to the pile, and these, I don't know what these tractors. The bucket on these tractors are the size of the arch, and they're taking this and they're dumping it in this, excavator, and the excavator's taking it to this, and the smell, it didn't stink of like rotting garbage. It smelt of decomposing organic material, but like a heavy, dense smell. It's kind of fascinating, actually. And I was like, man, how much fun would it be to be in one of those big old excavators? And I mean, they were picking up giant trees and putting them into this wood chipper. And so I take my 10 branches, more of which, left in my, all the leaves fell off and everything. So I threw them on the pile, stepped in some, whatever. And it was a whole
experience.
It was and then when I'm done, I get out and I have no idea where I am. No idea where I am. And it was a little disconcerting. And I turned on my GPS and I made the right out of there. And then 2 seconds later, I'm on Lindbergh. And I'm like, like Lindbergh and Page. I'm like, I know where I am. Yeah, I'm right here. Yeah.
Yep. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
I had no idea this road would dump me out right here.
So St. Louis Composting, you pay to drop it off and then you pay to pick it up, right? Because then they turn it into mulch or compost.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a racket right there.
I bet.
That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't have been any nicer.
And she just eyeballed it, was like $50.
Yeah, it just kind of was weird, but she, I wasn't asking because I was out of my element. But it was an experience. It was a total experience. But the amount of yard waste that was in there,
I bet,
it was staggering. Crazy. 646 here, St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
270 east past Washington. Elizabeth is blocking the 4 right lanes, and the backup is building. Estimated clearance time is 7:25. 64 west is jammed between Illinois 157 and 255. That's where the 64 west closure starts and continues through 15th Street in East St. Louis. And road closures are in place around Bell Reeve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Near normal heat for our Tuesday. We'll start off at 66 in the morning and some patchy fog. Light winds during the day, partly to mostly sunny skies, and a high of 88. That is a hot day, but it's also our normal high. So near normal heat Tuesday. Overnight into Wednesday morning, some scattered storms are likely. An isolated storm or shower later in the day Wednesday is possible, but a lower chance. So better chance of rain will be Wednesday morning with a high of 85 and very humid Wednesday as well. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Neighbors Credit Union, a home everything line of credit. You betcha. Home everything line of credit at Neighbors Credit Union. Also, home improvements, vacations, education, even debt consolidation is what you need. You go to Neighbors Credit Union. When you do, the first 12 months is subject to a lower introductory rate, which is good, right? It's better than a higher one, except when you're putting money in the account. That's a smart account. When you put the money in the account, guess what? You get a higher interest rate for putting money in the account. That's what Neighbors does. They want to incentivize you to use their wonderful services. Neighbors Credit Union is a credit union that's been around for over 100 years. 8 area locations, everything from car loans to home equity lines of credit, you name it, they've got it. And then, of course, these smart accounts for the next generation, teaching financial literacy. Neighbors Credit Union, 8 area locations. We'll see you over there. NeighborsCU.org.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, Jim Ryan joins us, ABC News correspondent. Military recruitment. People worried you can't find all sorts of people to do jobs, but military recruitment going strong. Jim Ryan, ABC News correspondent in Dallas. Jim, what's going on?
Yeah, and it's a solid option for a lot of people who are leaving high school, maybe even leaving college and trying to find a job, not having a lot of luck. And so, yeah, they end up in a military recruitment office. And we're seeing the results of that now, McGraw, that people in droves are signing up. All of the branches now are on track to meet their military recruiting goals for fiscal 2026. The Army signed up 61,500. The Navy, 45,000 new sailors. These numbers go back. I mean, they eclipse essentially what we've seen for the last 3 or 4 years. But if you look at the recession of 2008, the numbers were even higher than that. The Army signed up something like 80,000 active duty soldiers in 2008, 2009. So yeah, there's some correlation between what's happening with the economy and what's happening with military recruiting offices.
Yeah, really interesting when you look at it, considering all the things going on in the world. They're still actively recruiting, right? I mean, they're never really like sold out.
No, I don't think they ever really back down much. Maybe you'll see fewer ads on your YouTube channel or watching cable TV, but I think they're going to try to keep people coming through the door to sustain these numbers in years ahead, because there's always a need out there for military folks.
Yeah, any one job more more signed up for than others? I mean, everyone want to be a cook, or everybody want to be a infantryman or technology, or
Well, a lot of folks, I mean, they're going for the technology jobs that you mentioned there. That's what a lot of the recruits are going for. But the Pentagon itself asked folks who were considering signing up why they're doing that. The question was, if you were to consider joining the U.S. military, what would be the main reason? Pay is the top reason. Paying for future college expenses is the second reason. Gaining experience and getting work skills, and then travel is in fourth place. So yeah, they are looking for, I think, any kind of experience, whether it's in technical training or in weapons training. Mechanics, those jobs are there.
good stuff. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Good to have you. Thanks, Jim.
See you, bro.
You got it. People signing up in droves for the military. Yesterday, we had a job fair on from Freedom Technology Solutions, and we had one of the honchos on to talk about the job fair they were having today. And I can't tell you how many people reached out to me afterwards to tell me about the interview. Not that they, one, thought it was interesting, but two, wait, where is it? One, is it? I want to go. I want to tell my kid about it. People you would never think were like, hey, what was going on here? Freedom Technology Solutions is a company that works with the geospatial agency in the city of St. Louis. They're expanding they have offices all around the United States, but they're expanding here in St. Louis, 50 people, and they're looking for all sorts of people. And I asked the guy, well, what type of experience do you need? And Carl, you were in the room. He basically said, you need to be an American citizen.
That was the only requirement.
And I was like, well, what about like technological skills? He's like, we'll teach you. Well, what about like coding? We'll teach you. Well, what about we'll teach you? What about we'll teach you? And so it was a really interesting. I was like, well, what about people who don't live in St. Louis? You can work remote. And then I said, well, what else do we need to know? He said, be ready for a job offer if you come to this job fair. I mean, that's how they are. I mean, think about that for a second. Very different than in radio, where you've got to meet 17 people, and then 6 months from now they call you back and say, "Okay, great, we're ready to hire you." They're going to give you a job offer right then and there if you.
And what's some of the job descriptions?
So a lot of it's technology based. So I was like, well, what do you mean by working knowledge of technology? If I know how to check my email, he's like, yep, that works. What about, he's like, do you code? I'm like, no. He's like, we'll teach you. If you have a little bit of coding, great. If you have, he mentioned photography.
Yeah.
I asked him, like, what kind of soft skills do you need? And he's like, look, middle managers who've just been, aced out of their job because they're too old. He's like, we're looking for supervisors. We're looking for all sorts of people who know how to manage people.
Now, even though you had to be an American citizen, that was the only requirement. You have to be able to pass the background and military clearance.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So whatever that
security
entails.
Clearance for the government.
Yeah. Which I would think if you lead a relatively clean life and everything else, right?
Rose.
Wipro. Why do you think I'm not on camera?
But I mean, amazing that, right? For the three of us who've been in radio our whole lives,
that's not how job interviews work.
Has it always been that way for them? Or are they just desperate for employees?
It's a growing company. It's a growing field. They have contracts with the geospatial, and they need to fulfill these contracts. And so, yeah, they're looking for a few good men and women, and they're willing to pay and they're willing to move. So if you're willing to, and so the amount of people I received comments from was people in technology, outside of technology, senior level position people, parents calling about their kids, parents wanting to bring their kids to the job interview. No, I'm kidding.
I put the website in the promo that we did yesterday because we had so many people asking about it.
I mean, we had so many people calling us.
GoFTSG.com.
GoFTSG.com. That's the website of the company. And it's today down at the Globe Democrat Building.
2:00.
On Tucker, 2 to 6. We threw this in. Don't bring your mom. Don't bring your parents, and
Maybe wear a tie.
have some type of resume, and clean up a little bit. Maybe even wear a tie. Maybe even comb your hair. Maybe put some Sunday socks on. Put some nice shoes on. Don't show up in shorts and a concert T-shirt.
The sheer fact that we even have to bring that up.
Leave your mother in the car. Put your phone down. Shake their hand firmly. Look them in the eye.
Make eye contact.
Yes, make eye
Take
contact.
your headphones off.
Take your headphones off.
Yes.
Don't answer a call in the middle of the interview. Don't check your phone.
Somebody text. Make sure you tell them to take their headphones off. Yeah, I know. I was riveted by this. I was like, well, what? He's like, no, we'll give a job offer to somebody right then and there. Really? At a job fair? Think about that for a second. Captain Paul can't do afternoon traffic. He's busy this afternoon, apparently. He's going down
Taking the day off.
Going down to the Globe Democrat building for some reason, Captain Paul Kowski, in the St. Louis Classic Cowboy Traffic Center.
McGraw, there's an accident on 270 East at West Florissant. It's blocking the 3 right lanes with only the left lane. And traffic is backed up to Washington Elizabeth. Estimated clearance time is 7:25. 64 West is jammed from a mile east of Illinois 157 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues through 15th Street in East St. Louis. And road closures are in place around Belle Reeve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. through Sunday. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your single tickets now for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Then Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
When is the job fair? Sorry, I just turned on the radio. Shame on you. Never turn the radio off. The job fair is today from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Globe Building. The company is Freedom Technology Solutions Group. The website is goFTSG.com. And if I was their marketing man, I'd change that. I changed that.
Anything else?
This is the worst webpage address I've ever heard. GoFTSG.com. They're clearly technology people and not marketing people. It is weather-wise here for the next couple of days. It's going to be nice today. High of 88 degrees, 70 degrees right now. Coming up, we got lots more to get to, including Mike Dubusky, Facebook getting sued again, this time for billions. We'll check in with him. Plus, Bob Ramsey, talk a little sports in 1 hour. 7 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
From QB Austin Simmons, wide receiver Caden Lee, and every player in between, we are the home of Mizzou football. This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. As the 60-day memorandum of understanding with Iran on a ceasefire passes, President Trump is now threatening to bomb a U.S. ally over the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. ABC Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl with more.
With oil prices climbing higher and talks with Iran going nowhere, President Trump threatened to, quote, bomb the expletive out of U.S. ally Oman if they get in the way of his goals in the Strait of Hormuz.
I don't think they behaved very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do others.
The war has reduced ship traffic in the strait to a standstill, rattling world markets and raising the price of gas. On average, Americans are paying over $4 a gallon, up over $1 since the war began.
Cleanup goes on across the Midwest, where deadly flooding has devastated communities in Indiana, Ohio, and across Appalachia. The ABC Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z with more.
Radar estimates up to 9 inches of rain swamping Ripley, West Virginia, forcing schools to close and making roads impassable. In Charleston on Sunday, roads still filled with water. Authorities told people to move to higher ground. Sunday was their wettest August day on record. Homes filled with mud after the rushing water left communities devastated.
14 people, including 13 current and former students, are charged with cocaine trafficking in the campus of Penn State University. The drugs were allegedly picked up in New York and Philadelphia, then sold to students through 2 fraternity houses. Philadelphia police are searching for a masked man.
He's actively engaged in running up to people. It looks like he's attempting to scare or antagonize them.
Police Captain Jason Smith, it happened to Kate Egan.
It's really unsettling just trying to get to work and having a kid like this running around like actively terrorizing women.
So far, the man's not been caught. This is ABC News.
Most car shopping starts online, and lately, shoppers are spending more time at hwkia.com. Recent website reporting shows HW Kia shoppers spend nearly twice as much engaged time on the site compared to other Kia dealer websites. That means people are choosing hwkia.com instead of doing other important internet activities, like watching a guy build a swimming pool out of mud, or looking up, can my dog eat pickles? Why are they staying on hwkia.com nearly twice as long? Because there's more worth looking at. More new Kia inventory, more ways to shop, more ways to check current offers, more ways to value your trade, and more ways to find a payment that works for you. The report also shows hwkia.com shoppers are taking action and engaging through chats, texts, forums, and money-saving website events. So before you bounce from dealership to dealership, start where other shoppers are already spending more time and getting the deal they deserve. Start now at hwkia.com. Research compiled from June and July website traffic.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer. That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
70 degrees at 7:03. Here's what's happening now. The cause of a train derailment in Creve Coeur is being investigated. Police say 2 train cars went off the tracks at Bauer Boulevard near Research Boulevard yesterday morning. The area was closed off for more than 2 hours while the scene was cleared. No injuries were reported. A judge has issued an arrest warrant for a former presidential candidate who did not show up for a court appearance in St. Louis. Officials say Dr. Jill Stein and her attorney failed to appear in court Monday morning on trespassing and assault charges stemming from an incident during a protest at Washington University in April of 2024. Prosecutors say Stein grabbed one officer's bicycle and kicked another officer multiple times. Stein was the Green Party candidate for president in 2012, 2016, and 2024. St. Louis Public Schools is moving closer to overhaul its facilities and resources. The district has gathered community feedback during a series of public meetings, resulting in 3 models being considered. A proposal will be presented during a public meeting on August 25th. The St. Louis Zoo is bringing in an endangered species to its insectarium. KTRS's Brendan Weesey has details.
34 hump tree snails have arrived as part of an emergency rescue effort ahead of Category 5 Super Typhoon Bavi in Guam. These are the first ever hump tree snails to make their home at the St. Louis Zoo and is an incredible milestone for the endangered species, which exists in only a few small, isolated groups across Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. The newly arrived hump tree snails are settling into a specialized incubator habitat behind the scenes at the Bear Insectarium, which replicates the temperature and humidity conditions of their native Guam. I'm Brendan Weesey, KTRS News.
Deerberg's Markets will celebrate the opening of its newest store today to the Market at 370 development in St. Charles. Beginning at 8:15 this morning, Deerberg's will host a public ceremony in front of the store to commemorate the opening of the company's 29th location. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists, a place for all your floral needs, and you can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 65 degrees at 7:06. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
All right, let's do this, Rose Dalton. Mike Dubusky's got some Meta News, Facebook News. They're getting sued again for childhood addiction when it comes to social media. So we'll get into that with Mike Dabusky coming up here at 7:50. And then we are off and running on a Tuesday morning.
So have they been winning these cases, these lawsuits?
The prosecutors have been winning. Facebook's been losing.
Right. So, and these are just going to keep coming up.
Yes, they are.
If they win the full amount, Facebook would be bankrupt.
And that's the goal, right? I mean, in the sense of,
well,
that would be my goal.
They're not going to win the full amount.
You
overshoot.
I would. The lawyer's going to make a lot of money off of it. I think we're already starting to see Facebook try and make some changes to it. But I had a guy on last night, the evening show. This guy, Gil Duran, who wrote this new book, comes out today. It's called The Third Reich. Excuse me.
Whoa.
The Nerd Reich. After right, and
Hitler.
it's the rise of fascism in Silicon Valley. And he said something really interesting. He said, if you get your news from social media, you're not picking your news. They're picking your news for you. Right? They're telling you what to read and what to think, and it's really very dangerous to sort of have no guardrails. And I get, and somebody says, well, I was stuck reading my hometown newspaper and they were feeding me garbage. Yes, that is true. But there were standards and it wasn't as divisive, and you could certainly not read the newspaper, or there were varying degrees of voices in your sphere. If you didn't read your hometown newspaper, you could listen to your hometown radio, you could listen to the TV stations, whatever. But if you Facebook are such that you're really only getting what you want to see.
Well, why do
or what they want you to see.
So instead of reading the paper or reading Post-Dispatch online or something to see like the news of the day, people just go to Facebook?
Yeah.
Or TikTok.
Or TikTok.
And how long, why don't they do that in addition to, like, if people just completely abandoned, like, are there people that I get everything I need from TikTok and Facebook and what other, social, like, I don't read the Post, I don't read New York Times, nothing.
Yes.
No Guardian, no BBC.
Yes. There are people who do just that. Yes. And what they don't even realize is TikTok doesn't really have a news department.
Well, and I'm just like, why are people, like, there's so many experts, right? And all these hacks and all, like, at what point did everyone become such an expert in their field? You know what I mean? Or they're so confident that they're going to make videos about the correct way to lift weights, or the correct way to bake a cake, or the correct way to homeschool your children. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of blown away at the fact that and its followers. And like, since when did we become such a society of being influenced and then following everything? Like, I don't know. It's just me. I've never followed a thing I don't understand what is happening. I just don't.
Well, you follow all sorts of things. You have people you appreciate.
Well, no, I mean on social. I've never clicked. I've never followed a thing. I don't know what that.
No. Well, first of all, I go back to that advertiser.
I follow this person. Like, what?
I go back to that advertiser who was hired a social influencer in Austin, and they came back to me 6 months later, and they're like, I realized that everyone in Austin's a social influencer, and nobody's actually buying any of the things they're actually trying to influence.
Right.
So that's one. Two, they don't understand that TikTok doesn't have a newsroom, which means you're not reading TikTok. You're reading what other people. TikTok is the delivery system. You're reading what TikTok is sending you from what other people are creating. And so it's not a sort of credible news source, because all they want, their whole goal isn't to educate and inform you so you can make an informed decision. Their goal is to get you to listen or to stay on that as long as possible.
So it's all propaganda. Like, it's all propaganda.
And what they've learned is that rage sells. So the angrier they make you, the more you stay on there. So they're literally selling rage. And so you see the downfall of civilization, the breaking of communities and families and relationships and what used to be societal norms, because this rage has taken over, because that's what they're selling.
Oh, I'm surprised they're winning these. Like because the case just seems like I'm mad because my kid's addicted to social media. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I just blame it on somebody. You know what I mean? Like, is it necessary? I mean, social media is the scourge of society, in my opinion.
I
But
agree.
but I'm kind of surprised that they're winning. To me, it's
I
like, well,
agree.
but this is part of it.
Well,
Like,
and these people who were just apoplectic over a book on a shelf in a Dewey Decimal System in the county library, they can't think straight. But then you look at their kid and they're doom scrolling on the phone.
That's one of the things they might want to stop. That's
right.
well, that's my point. So it's like it's called, but like it's not. It's terrible, and I'm sorry that your kid's addicted to. But how did that start? Like, let's go back to the beginning.
I understand
It's
it, but I think they're outraged over the wrong thing, right? They're
Yeah.
outraged over where this transgender person might go to the bathroom, as
Better put a
opposed to
person on the school board.
as opposed to the 75,000 pedophiles you just handed to your son, who's going to now try and get him to do all sorts of nefarious things on his phone. It's like what's okay? I get it. You don't want to go to the bathroom next to a transgender person. Okay, fine. What about what technology is doing to your family and your children? You more worried about that, or you more worried about where someone's going to the bathroom?
Yeah. Wow.
So, from the Country Club Car Wash text line, I'm old school. I've been influenced from radio hosts like Rich Dalton.
That's right.
Somebody asked me if did Rose bring her dad to the interview? Interesting. Hey, McGraw, did you ask Rose to bring her dad to when she did the interview for the job?
I bring him everywhere. He's got me every job.
He wasn't in the room, mind you, but he was certainly there.
I carried a radio and just played clips. I played a clip from the classic show. And be like,
No, it
hire
is
me.
true. When somebody first told me about Rose, I did not know of Rose before we started our nationwide search. But somebody said to me, do you know Rich Dalton? I was like, I've heard the name. And they said, well, this is his daughter, and she's been in radio and blah, 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 and you should meet with her. And
Nepo baby.
And so that's when I met with her. I met with all people who were not Rich Dalton's children, too.
What?
So Rose got the job all on her own. And then, and
Right.
Rose got the job all on her own. Right after her father called me
I
and
know. And Grease
gave me a stipend. No. I'm joking. That did not
The old-
happen. That
the 20
did-
in the palm.
He
A
put
20.
he put his arm around me and said, "Come here, kid. We need to talk. I know people." 7:14 here, Big 550 KTRS. By the way, I saw your mother's softball teammate yesterday. She wanted me to
Betsy?
tell Mrs. Lund.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Gail.
Gail.
Mrs. Lund.
Hi, Gail.
I call her Mrs. Lund. I'm not on a first name basis with her. Yeah. Was she the first baseman or shortstop or center fielder?
She was right field, and it wasn't because she was terrible.
It's 'cause
Like
she had a cannon for an arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
She could catch and she could hit. Yeah. It was fun watching them play.
Yeah.
My aunt. Oh, that home runs like nothing.
7:15. Here's Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, it looks like an accident on 270 East at West Florissant has been cleared. 270 North is heavy between Doherty Ferry and Manchester. 64 West is congested from just east of Illinois 157 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues through 15th Street in East St. Louis. 5570 West is congested between 255 and Black Lane. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm meteorologist Chance Koch with your first alert forecast. We're tracking highs towards the upper 80s today, partly sunny skies after a little bit of a cooler start with temperatures towards the upper 60s. Into the deep overnight hours early Wednesday morning, talking between 2 to 4 a.m. Going to be tracking scattered showers and storms becoming widespread by Wednesday morning's a.m. commute. Could see some gusty winds, some heavier downpours as our primary threats. That'll remain scattered to isolated as we head towards the afternoon hours, drying out into Thursday, with highs towards mid-80s. Into Thursday afternoon, we'll look at a lot of sunshine towards the upcoming weekend ahead. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Scotch for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Beatty Roofing, B-A-D-E, B-A-D-E. That's how you spell Beatty, Beatty Roofing. They were well known and still are as a commercial roofer. St. Louis Science Center, Lambert Airport, Convention Center. Those are some big jobs, and you don't get those jobs by accident, right? There's bidding processes. There's multiple bidding processes. There's all sorts of hoops you have to go through. And so when you get a job like that, you're doing it right. And then to keep that job and keep getting those jobs, that's the reputation that Beatty has built up all these many years. They're once first considered the big four of roofing companies here in St. Louis. And now, the last number of years, they've now opened up a residential division. So they've taken all the expertise and all the excellence that they've had in the commercial business, and now they've just bring that to the residential side. So with these storms and these summer months with the sun baking and heating up the roof, that's going to cause some damage. That's going to weaken the shingles. And when the roof goes bad, you need a roofer you can trust, and that is Beatty Roofing. They've been around since the 1950s, and they're big supporters of St. Louis, and they're local. Not to mention, when you say you're a first responder, they'll give you 10% off of your roof. And did I tell you they'll work with your insurance company? Yeah, all the great things that a roofing company will do in the commercial space, they now do in the residential space. So BeattyRoofing.com. We win now that they're in the residential space. Beatty Roofing, 314-892-1331 or BeattyRoofing.com.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis with my home when it matters most. They are the local experts who know our area best. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Ask any designer and they'll tell you lighting is key. It's Heidi, and you can completely transform your home with Nora Lighting, which is available at my go-to store, Metro Lighting. From recessed to under cabinet lighting, Nora helps brighten every corner beautifully. Visit Metro Lighting St. Louis area showrooms to explore all the Nora lighting solutions, or check them out online at metrolightingcenters.com.
Why leave for vacation when your favorite destination could be your own backyard? I'm Jill Farmer for Patriot Build Sunrooms. Transform your deck or patio into the perfect place to relax and make memories with a Patriot sunroom, screen room, patio cover, power shades, outdoor kitchen, or any idea you can come up with. Patriot's designers and craftsmen have helped over 10,000 homeowners create stunning backyard living spaces. Save thousands with a free insulated roof upgrade. Call today for your free design consultation, 314-822-3232 or patriotbuildsstl.com.
If you're from St. Louis, you likely have a Maggie O'Brien story. Maggie O'Brien's has become an iconic local hotspot for St. Louis sports, holiday parties, corporate and private events in downtown St. Louis for food and fun with distinctive Irish flair. Do check out their location in Sunset Hills. Maggie O's.
Summer isn't over until you've experienced the 2026 DuQuoin State Fair. Join the fun August 28th through September 7th in DuQuoin, Illinois, with free gate admission every day. Enjoy thrilling carnival rides, mouth-watering fair food, livestock shows, family attractions, and incredible grandstand entertainment. Featuring stars like Wiz Khalifa, Tyler Hubbard, Night Ranger, Russell Dickerson, and more. Make memories the whole family will love. See the full entertainment lineup and plan your visit today at dsf.illinois.gov. That's the 2026 DuQuoin State Fair, where Illinois comes together.
We have a huge responsibility to raise and educate our children. Let's give our children a solid foundation for tomorrow by teaching them to say yes to life, and education by saying no to drugs and alcohol. This message courtesy of Accurate Mechanical Contractors, proudly serving the greater St. Louis area for over 21 years. They're currently hiring energetic pipe fitters and more. Call 314-291-4336. That's 314-291-4336. Accurate Mechanical Contractors is on the air because they care.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
It's Julie Buck, and I wanted to pop on here just to give my friends at Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital some love. You know, healing goes beyond medicine. The hospital is built on a simple but powerful philosophy. Play helps children heal. Through their care beyond the bedside model, kids are encouraged to leave their hospital rooms, play, explore, and simply be kids while they recover. To support Rankin Jordan's work, donate at rankinjordanfoundation.org and join us for the Beyond Gala on September 26th.
Lionel Richie, live in concert. Playing at the Muni, Saturday, August 29th. Get tickets now at metrotix.com.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
So there's some primaries going on today in Florida. They are, believe it or not, they're trying to pick a new governor. Byron Daniels, the Trump-backed former Republican, or soon-to-be former Republican, is in solid lead in the race for governor. Democrats are all over the place. Remember David Jolly, the former Republican congressman? He could be the nominee for the Democrats. We'll have to wait and see what's going on in Florida. Also, apparently, Florida has got all sorts of problems with daycares, but senior living and retirement communities and all that stuff. They've apparently either scared away the immigrants or have deported them to the point where the retirement communities and the nursing homes and the senior living centers are having a really hard time filling out the staff. So Florida is an interesting place right now. And then in Alaska, Dan Sullivan is having a face-off with Dan Sullivan. I love this story. Dan Sullivan taking on Dan Sullivan in the Republican primary. That was like, remember years ago when Dick Gephardt was running for Congress around here? There was always somebody else on the ballot named like Steve Gephardt or Gerhardt, or right? Remember that? It was just a so similar name. And then there was Claire McCaskill when she was running, winning her 2 Senate seats here in Missouri. One of the primaries, she went up against a guy named Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton got like 14% of the vote. And I remember her walking in the next day after the primary to do an interview, and we were, chatting before the interview. And I said, how many of that 14% actually thought they were voting for Bill Clinton? And she was like, probably quite a few of them.
Oh, man.
But name recognition. Dan Sullivan. Apparently there's a Dan S. Sullivan and a Dan, C. Sullivan.
And one of them's the incumbent.
One of them's the incumbent. Yeah.
Have you ever written a name in a ballot?
One of them's the incumbent. One of them's the incumbent. One of them's the incumbent. Yeah. 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 I'm sure I have.
Because you can, right? Like they'll be like, or
yes,
other.
I believe you can. Yes, I believe you can. I have. I'm sure I have. I just don't remember. I just don't remember. When it's all said and done, it looks like E. Jean Carroll might be the only one to get the best of Donald Trump. The Supreme Court yesterday refused to review the $5 million civil judgment, finding that President Trump had sexually abused and defamed the writer E. Jean Carroll. He has to pay her $5 million. There's another one. There's like $80 million to come in all of this. But she's the only one that I can think of to best Donald Trump. In every other instance.
And that doesn't affect, like, I know this is a stupid question, but that doesn't affect this, like, being convicted of sexual assault and owing, right? Like, doesn't have any bearing on the fact that you can still hold office, public office.
He was voted in by the people of the United States of America.
And this was civil.
The vote
not
is
criminal.
the
but
vote
even
is
still,
sacred.
like, so they could, the vote's sacred, and then after that they can do whatever they want, or they can, you know what I mean? Like,
well, no, he couldn't defame her, and so that's why he was sued and lost.
It just seems
the people vote. That's what democracy is. The people elect.
No, I get all of that.
Leaders.
I've lived in the world.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, when you commit a crime, it just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to be ignorant when I ask this or trite. I'm
It was
just kind
civil,
of like,
not criminal.
but still, it's a crime is a crime is a crime. And especially, sexual assault. I don't know. I'm just surprised, because people, that comes up all the time, and other people are running for office, and this kind of stuff is like a deterrent. Apparently, in this case,
Right.
it's not.
From the Country Club text line, that was the worst report. His name is Donaldson, not Danielson. Wax on, wax off. And he isn't a former Republican. He's soon to be a former congressman. And his name is Byron Daniels. Or Donalds. Not Danielson. Donalds. The guy who calls the show all the time. Donalds. Him and this Donald and that Donald are the Donalds.
Multiple.
Let's see what else we got here. Anything else in the news?
So
no,
is
nothing
his
else going on.
practice at this BMW thing today?
Yes. Yes. Practice today and tomorrow. We got a text the other day, and it said, is St. Louis the only town in America that shuts down for a golf tournament, or is it just us?
And not only a tournament, just for practice swings? What?
Yes.
It's not even that. When does it actually start?
It starts on Thursday, but it's a whole week. What is today? Today's Tuesday. I'm sure they have like a pro-am or something. They got to have like a little bit of pro-am or something. So they'll do practice rounds today and tomorrow, and then they'll get started on Thursday.
So it's been here before, right? Years ago?
Different tournaments.
Different tournaments have been here, yeah.
Okay, because I remember there was when I was at in college when we were working, we had to go over there and work it. And I remember do refreshments and things like that because of the school I was at the time. And that was like 20 years ago. But it was at Belle Reve. I think Tiger.
Well, 20 years ago,
was he even there?
The 9/11 was canceled.
That's what it was. I think it was. Yeah, it was that. Because
Yeah,
I was
that
in
was
college
that
when
was
that
canceled.
happened. Okay, so it
because of
started
9/11.
right like the
yeah,
day.
it would have been a Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
Yep.
they got here and they got settled in. Then it was canceled.
Yep, that's it.
And then Tiger took one of the sponsored vehicles and drove home.
Yeah. I mean, we've had the senior tour out at Norwood Hills the last couple of years. We had the PGA Championship out at Belle Reve a couple of years ago. So, I mean, it's
What's considered the nicest golf course in St. Louis?
I'm not going there.
Good choice.
7:30 here, Big 550 KTRS, St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. We have a crash on 270 North at Gravois with stop-and-go traffic back to Tesson Ferry. 270 North is also heavy from Big Bend up to Manchester. There's an accident on 170 South past Olive. 64 West is slow from just east of Illinois 157 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues to 15th Street in East St. Louis. 5570 West is congested between 255 and Black Lane. And the road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
70 degrees here at the Big 550 KTRS. We've got had some heavy, dense fog this morning. That seems to have burned off now. High today, 89 degrees. The heat and the humidity at least has passed for a couple of days. So we get a high today of 89. Some thunderstorms tomorrow, high of 82. And on Thursday, again, mid-80s. And that heat held at bay at least for a while. 70 right now at 7:31. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
This newscast is brought to you by Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. Thousands remain without power after tropical storm Lala hit Hawaii, uprooting trees and causing flash floods from Honolulu to the Big Island. On Monday, officials announced one fatality linked to the storm. Relations between the U.S. and Canada could deteriorate further if Trump goes ahead with his plan to impose 50% tariffs on $20 billion worth of Canadian products. The two countries are talking as the midnight deadline approaches. In local headlines, Roxana teachers could be headed to the picket lines as contract negotiations enter its 7th month. The union announced that Roxana teachers declared an impasse and initiated a public posting process, a step that legal allows teachers to go on strike as early as September 3rd. Missouri agriculture students are working to help children in need. Hundreds of Future Farmers of America students are at the Missouri State Fair packing meals as part of the Drive to Feed Kids initiative. Organizers have set a goal of packing 250,000 meals this year. Are you or a family member turning 65, and are you happy with your current health plan? For the right plan, call the Medicare man, Ryan Raphael, at 314-368-6808. 67 degrees, time now is 7:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Hardcastle, host of Money Talk. Join me and all of our Money Talkers for our June 2027 French Riviera Money Talk vacation. 9 days, unpack one time, balmy beaches, coastal resorts, chic boutiques, captivating museums, and much more. And if you book early, under $5,000 for brochure and information, call our Delta office, 636-532-0484. The French Riviera, I'm Bob Hardcastle.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear. It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Calling all Metro East residents. The weather may be unpredictable, but that doesn't mean your home comfort has to be. From emergency heating and cooling emergencies and repairs to new systems and yearly maintenance checks, you can feel confident that you're ready for whatever Mother Nature throws at you with the help from the friends at Viviano. Get quality, reliable service every time, any season. Go to their website, vivianoair.com. That's vivianoair.com. Trane, the most reliable name in heating and cooling around, it's hard to stop a train.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation for foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing. Choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, solid as rock.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
All right, that's annoying. 7:38 here, Big 550 KTRS. Last week, President Trump signed an executive order scaling back some childhood shots, right? The MMR shots. Well, at a time when measles and other deadly diseases are spreading, new numbers coming out of the CDC, roughly 4% of kindergartners in the United States were giving non-medical exemptions for at least one vaccine during the 25-26 school year. 4% of kindergartens. That is an 18% jump from the previous year. That is according to new data released Monday by the CDC. That rise is the largest annual increase recorded in more than a decade. And it comes as a growing number of states look to loosen vaccine mandates or even do away with them entirely. Exemption rates varied from state to state, as you can imagine. All states have some opt-out vaccine requirements for medical conditions. Some states allow for religious or personal reasons. If you have a mandate and you can get out of it for personal reasons, then it's not really a mandate, but whatever. Utah, which is some of the most relaxed laws around school vaccines, say that nearly 13% of the kindergartners had a religious or personal exemption for at least one routine shot. The state also is in the midst of a month-long measles outbreak that has infected more than 700 people. In New York, the other side of the coin, which stopped allowing parents to opt out for religious reasons in 2019, reported no non-medical exemptions. The new data finding is quite striking. Measles polio vaccine has dipped to under 93%. The whooping cough is at 92%. And we're starting to see, right, the whooping cough make a comeback and measles start to make a comeback. So interesting that people are not opting for the vaccine, with 4% of kindergartners entering kindergarten last year did not get the shot. But it still means 96% of the people did. Right? Everyone's like, oh my goodness, 4%. That's 4% is really not a lot. I mean, it's a lot of kids, but there's a lot more kids who did get the shot. As opposed to, right, it's an 18% increase. That's a lot. But again, 96% of the kids walking into the kindergarten class did get the shot. 741 here, a Big 550, KTRS.
The 38th Midwest Salute to the Arts invites you to a 3-day outdoor arts festival at Moody Park in Fairview Heights, Illinois, August 28th through the 30th. Visitors can immerse themselves in a celebration of art, enjoy local food vendors, and a kids' creation station. Join us for new waves of contemporary outdoor sculpture exhibit in partnership with Art Village Fairview. For more information, visit MidwestSalute.com. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. This has been a sales volume record-breaking year for us so far. I need more vehicles. Got one to sell? I'd love to buy Corvettes, late model muscle cars, Porsches, Vipers, Ford Raptors, Shelby Mustangs, you name it. I'll even buy an everyday vehicle if it's super clean and low mile. I make it easy, even if you still owe money. I cut you your equity check right on the spot and make your payoff. I also buy classic cars and exotics. If it's unique, pristine, and low mile, I want it. We even buy our entire collections. We just bought an awesome collection of Mopars from Florissant last week. Hop on our site to submit your vehicle and we'll take it from there. MasterCarsInc.com.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Have you been hurt in a crash or on the job? Call Brown & Brown now for a free consultation. 314-333-3333. That's 314-333-3333.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you. BishopsPost.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
The Big 550.
KTRS, St. Louis.
St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, there's an accident on 170 south past Olive, blocking the right lane and causing only a slight slowdown. 270 north is heavy around Tesson Ferry and from Big Bend to Doherty Ferry. 64 west is jammed from Illinois 159 to 255. That's where the 64 west closure starts and continues through 15th Street in East St. Louis. 5570 west is congested between 255 and Black Lane. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. And there are also closures along Mason Road near Whitfield School. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Near normal heat for our Tuesday. We'll start off at 66 in the morning and some patchy fog. Light winds during the day, partly to mostly sunny skies, and a high of 88. That is a hot day, but it's also our normal high. So near normal heat Tuesday. Overnight into Wednesday morning, some scattered storms are likely. An isolated storm or shower later in the day Wednesday is possible, but a lower chance. So better chance of rain will be Wednesday morning with a high of 85 and very humid Wednesday as well. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk Lisi Lumber, because if you're building something, a doghouse, an outhouse, a penthouse, you're going to need material. And where do you go and get that material? Well, there's a couple of options you can go, but one I would recommend is family-owned and operated Lisi Lumber. Lisi Lumbers has 2 lumber yards in Belleville, but they'll deliver anywhere within the sound of my voice, 250 miles or so. What's great about Lisi Lumber is that they're known for their quality staff. So they got great customer service, great pricing, and their woods, their materials are better than the competition. What does that mean? The wood is straight. It's true. It doesn't bow. It doesn't warp. So you get a better yield out of the wood, and therefore your materials go longer. You pay the same price, but they get more yield out of the wood, which is why Lisi Lumber has built St. Louis since 1872. Builders use them. Contractors use them. Homeowners use them. They have skilled union carpenters. They have union Teamster drivers. Everything about it is buttoned up from soup to nuts, from start to finish. Big supporters of Backstoppers, big supporters of local charities, big supporters of St. Louis. So if you need materials for your next project, again, whether a builder, a contractor, or a homeowner, it's Lisi. 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
If you're from St. Louis, you likely have a Maggie O'Brien story. Maggie O'Brien's has become an iconic local hotspot for St. Louis sports, holiday parties, corporate and private events in downtown St. Louis for food and fun with distinctive Irish flair. Do check out their location in Sunset Hills. Maggie O's.
One thing, I try to do is money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer. Medicare can feel like learning a whole new language. Supplement plans, Medicare Advantage, Part D prescription coverage. How do you know if your doctors are even in the network? That's where Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man, comes in. Ryan is like having your own Medicare consultant, guiding you through every option at no cost to you. By law, the insurance companies pay his fee, not you. For the right plan, call the Medicare Man, 314-368-6808, or visit MedicareManSTL.com.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing.
Have you been hurt in a crash or on the job? Call Brown & Brown now for a free consultation. 314-333-3333. That's 314-333-3333.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Live from Studio 550, this is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
7:51 here. Mike Dubusky joins us. We talked to him yesterday, now today, twice in the same week. It's a good week. Mike Dubusky, what's going on with Meta? They're back in court?
Yeah, that's right. So this time it's in Oakland, California, and it's all over this lawsuit that claims that Meta harnessed powerful and unprecedented technology to entice, engage, and ultimately ensnare youth and teens. And ultimately what lawyers are building to here is this argument that Facebook and Instagram were designed to get young people engaged on the platforms for as long as possible, and that they had all these harmful negative health impacts as a result. Things like, body dysmorphia and suicidal ideation in some cases. The lawsuit also separately alleges that Meta violated a federal online privacy law by unlawfully collecting the personal data of its youngest users. That's without parent permission. This case goes all the way back to 2023 when it was first lodged. It comes from 29 different states, so a huge swath of the country taking aim at Meta over these very questions. We will only be hearing from 4 of those states, however. California, Colorado, New Jersey, and Kentucky are all arguing this case in federal court.
How is this different than the ones in New Mexico where Facebook just lost to the tune of almost $1 billion?
Yeah, so they're not very different, and that represents a pretty existential question here for Meta is to, how much is this going to start to add up for the company? You mentioned that they lost New Mexico and also a California case that broadly dealt with these same questions of design, and that goes back to this sort of legal strategy that has seen some success, right? Previously, social media companies had a defense where they could fall back on, specifically if these cases had to do with the content that gets published on their platforms, right? We're talking about nefarious actors acting on Facebook, or, filters that might have a negative impact, or photos rather that have a negative impact, just in terms of cyberbullying on platforms like Instagram. Any case that really deals with that has been unsuccessful because platforms, companies like Meta, are protected by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which says that they can't be held liable for the content that gets published on their platform, right? That ultimately goes back to an individual. By targeting the design, by targeting features like infinite scrolling, where you just scroll and scroll and scroll on Instagram and you never reach the bottom, push notifications, which light up your phone at random times during the day, sometimes triggering a dopamine response in your brain. They say that those features really go back to a company, right? Go back to decision makers at Instagram and Facebook. And that's ultimately where the liability lies. Those cases have been much more successful. That's what we saw in New Mexico, where they're on the hook for nearly $1 billion. California as well. This new lawsuit deals with the same sort of strategy, though it's worth mentioning Meta is appealing both the California case and the New Mexico case. In court filings in this case, Meta estimates the potential damages could reach $1.4 trillion. We talk a lot about how Meta is such a big company that all these fines don't really matter. $1.4 trillion would matter, right? That is not something that Meta can really afford as it stands. The judge in this case, Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers, has called that estimate from Meta unreasonable, according to the law outlet Law 360.
How long is this court case going to take?
About 6 weeks from what we understand. We're expecting to hear from Meta executives, including potentially Mark Zuckerberg and Adam Mosseri, who's the head of Instagram. The judge here has full control over the verdict and the penalties. There is a jury involved, but they're really only there in an advisory capacity. This all goes back to the judge. And again, you got to imagine this all comes at a time when Meta's legal bills, regardless of whether they win these cases or not, are starting to add up. According to internal disclosures from the company, they spent $2.4 billion on legal costs just in the second quarter of this year. And that's, before we talk about penalties, before we talk about their investments in other things, they're just spending almost $2.5 billion on just fighting court cases. Sure, small potatoes for a company as big as Meta, but again, this could start to add up, especially when you consider that there are not just this case that's going to trial today, but literally hundreds of similar cases coming down the pike as well.
Has Facebook changed their algorithms at all? Have they changed some of these most deceptive practices at all?
So right at this point, they are appealing. So before any of the sort of, penalties with regard to like how they should change their platform, new features that they should roll out, like they're going to go through the appeals process first. So we're not quite at that stage, but potentially, right? Like there's two components to penalizing companies that are ultimately found liable here. One is the money. Two is like getting them to change their ways. But like you have to also imagine that like these changes that could be forced, right? Like if you get rid of the infinite scroll feature on Instagram, well, that's going to vastly change how Instagram operates, right? So like they're going to fight that pretty hard because that's where a huge amount of their revenue comes from. People scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and looking at advertisement. So that is, something that we just don't have a clear answer on just yet. Have they changed their algorithm? I mean, they're constantly changing their algorithm, so it's kind of hard to get insight into that. But yeah, it's potentially on the table, but not at this point.
I know in the Mexico, or no, definitely in the California case before, some tech companies settled out of court. Did they or any other companies involved in these lawsuits, or is it just Facebook?
This particular case, it's just Meta that's going to trial. However, yes, in other cases, we've seen TikTok, Snapchat, Google, which owns YouTube, have also been sort of implicated in this. Some have decided to settle. We've ultimately seen, companies like Snap really try to settle these cases. They're much smaller than Meta is. And Meta has sort of a vested interest in cases like this to argue their case, right? Like this is what their core business is. This is where all their money comes from. And, changing feature sets, again, like infinite scroll, like push notifications, could represent like an actual existential threat to their business beyond the money. So, there's a broad range of companies here that are potentially at risk. It really depends on what case you're talking about.
This is going to sound a lot harsher the question than I mean it, but why do they call themselves Meta? Why aren't they called Facebook?
Because in 2021, there was this effort internally at the company to rebrand as a metaverse company, where we would all be wearing their Quest headsets, their virtual reality headsets, and we would all exist in this digital sort of 3D rendered space, and that's where we would do our work and socialize and things like that. And that idea, persists to a very small degree at the company, but it is really not the central focus of Meta anymore. It really struggled to take on. The pandemic was weird for everyone, I think, is the big takeaway from that.
But the only thing survived was that they changed their parent company name to Meta.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they also sort of reorganized, right? Where it was just like Facebook used to own Instagram and WhatsApp. Now Meta, which has a bunch of other efforts, right? Like they treat themselves more as like a tech company, an AI company, a metaverse company, with the social media, kind of being their main money generating engine.
Mike Dubusky, strange world we live in. Have yourself a good day. Thanks for checking in.
Sounds good. Take care.
You got it. 7:58 here. Captain Paul, St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, a stalled vehicle on 55 North at Graboy is causing stop-and-go traffic back to 4500 South Broadway. There's an accident on 170 South past Olive. It's blocking the right lane with traffic slow from Page. And 270 North is heavy around Tesson Ferry and Graboy and from Big Bend to Manchester. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
70 degrees here at the Big 550 KTRS, headed up to the mid-80s. Last night was gorgeous. Sit outside. It was really very pleasant. This morning, a whole bunch of fog, but today, not too bad, right? Mid-80s, no real rain in the forecast. We are going to get some rain tomorrow, but again, this pattern of mid-80s should at least last through the weekend. It is 70 right now, 8 o'clock. KTRS, St. Louis.
The tackles.
And he's going to be sacked.
The intense action of college football.
Missouri comes back to beat his arch rival.
The Big 550 is your home for all Tigers action. We are KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Cleanup operations continue across the Midwest following deadly flooding. Indiana especially hard hit, says ABC Chief Climate Correspondent Ginger Z.
The city of Carmel, Indiana, is still reeling from flooding over the past week. Authorities warning that a major sewer line has a 90% chance of collapsing.
We're tracking your needs, and we will get you resources.
Governor Mike Braun offering $5,000 emergency grants to people affected by the storms.
We want displaced Hoosiers to have a hot meal, comfortable bed, and get into air conditioning.
Bridges destroyed and streets still underwater.
Today, there will be major heat in the south. Oklahoma City, Dallas, New Orleans, Pensacola expected to be in the triple digits with high humidity. Oil prices are up again as the 60-day memorandum of understanding on a ceasefire with Iran expires. President Trump is now threatening to bomb U.S. ally Oman if that country gets in the way of his goals in the Strait of Hormuz. Social media giant Meta in court. This lawsuit, beginning in California, was brought by nearly 30 states who argue that features on Instagram and Facebook have a negative effect on young people's mental health. ABC's Mike Dubusky with more on the fines Meta could be forced to pay.
In court filings, Meta estimates it could be forced to pay damages up to $1.4 trillion if it loses this case, though Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers has called that number unreasonable, according to the outlet Law 360. Meta recently revealed it spent $2.4 billion on legal expenses in the second quarter of 2026 alone. And while that's relatively small potatoes for such a large company, it could add up, with hundreds of similar cases expected to go to trial in the coming months. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The CDC now says the rate of vaccine exemptions for American kindergartners has reached a record high. Records show most kids are not getting their annual shots because of non-medical reasons, such as religion. You're listening to ABC News.
If it's time to replace your windows and doors, choose Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis. Pella's trusted local experts work in your area and within your budget, backed by the most preferred window and door brand by homeowners. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Study of homeowner perceptions of leading national brands. Study commissioned by Pella 2023.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
70 degrees at 8:03. Here's what's happening now. St. Louis mayor is receiving criticism over an alleged conversation she had with police officers at the funeral of a police officer last week. The Police Officers Associations claim Spencer debated with officers about other pay and benefits at the funeral. St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy released a statement which reads in part, quote, "A funeral should remain a sacred and solemn space to honor our officer and support his family and grieving colleagues. While I was not present for the conversations now being discussed, I have heard the concerns of our officers and take them seriously," end quote. Meanwhile, Spencer said the conversations she had with 3 officers at the funeral were mischaracterized by the Police Officers Association. Spencer released a statement which reads in part, quote, "I was honored to speak to 3 young men who recently graduated from the academy with the officer and was grateful for the time they shared with me. I was deeply moved by the stories they shared, hearing about where they are from, the districts they serve, the honorable way they show up in uniform for our community, and what motivates them to do this important and dangerous work. Compensation is often part of motivation, and I was grateful they shared their perspective on this matter and humbled to hear that what motivates them most is doing excellent work," end quote. A local college will be hosting multiple events to commemorate an upcoming somber anniversary. KTRS's Brendan Wiese has more.
Webster University will be marking 25 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks with a photo exhibit and lecture on campus. The photography of Jane Martin will be on display through December. Martin documented the immediate aftermath of the attacks from her apartment just across the Hudson River, including the collapse of the Twin Towers, the evacuation of Lower Manhattan, and the extraordinary acts of compassion, mourning, and resilience that followed. Dr. Eric Rothenmuller will be hosting a lecture on September 11th at 1 p.m. as he discusses his on-the-scene observations as an anthropologist in New York City at the time. The event is free and open to the public. I'm Brendan Wiese, KTRS News.
The state of Missouri is losing its budget director. Yesterday, Governor Mike Kehoe announced that Dan Hogg will retire effective October 1st following 11 years of service as budget director and 31 years of state government service. Kehoe released a statement which reads in part, quote, Dan has served in this important role under multiple administrations with unwavering integrity and professionalism. His deep understanding of the state budget has provided valuable guidance to state leaders and decision makers throughout the ups and downs of Missouri's budget landscape, end quote. Upon Hogg's retirement, Missouri Department of Corrections Director Trevor Foley will serve as budget director. Governor J.B. Pritzker and Illinois Department of Revenue are urging Illinois families and teachers to maximize school tax credits for 2026. Both families and educators can secure financial relief on their upcoming state tax returns by claiming deductions on qualified purchases like classroom materials, tuition, and required school fees. The Illinois K-12 Education Expense Tax Credit allows parents or legal guardians of full-time students under age 21 to claim a 25% tax credit on qualified education expenses over $250. The maximum credit is $750 per household, regardless of the number of qualifying students. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists, the place for all your floral needs, and you can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 70 degrees, time now is 8:06. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
You know him as the voice of Billikens basketball. It's time for sports with Bob Ramsey on the McGraw Show, powered by Balding Electric on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, trying to check in with Mr. Bob Ramsey, who is our go-to every Tuesday, talk a little sports. He, of course, sits at his perch in the afternoon, 3 to 6, with Heidi and Josh. Good morning, Bob Ramsey.
Hey, good morning. It's my Tuesday wake-up call. How you doing?
Yes. You've been watching a lot of baseball all these years. Put into perspective Joshua Baez's 3-run home run game on Saturday. Where does that rank in cool things to see?
Yeah, it's never happened in the game of baseball, not just with the Cardinals. And so it's pretty remarkable on a number of levels, and really exciting and fun, and for his debut to be able to pull that off. There have been many players who have had a home run in their first game. Even some have had a home run in the first pitch they saw, but nobody's ever hit 3 home runs in their debut game. It's just really unbelievable and pretty neat for the young guy who's had tons of ups and downs in the minor leagues. Was a prospect when he signed, kind of went off the radar a little while, and then bounced back in the last 2 seasons. And he was, I think when he got called up, he was like the ranked 3rd Cardinals prospect. And he showed why, as last year in this, it's really come together for him. So, yeah, very excited for him. One of my favorite things is as you go through all the highlights and the replays and all those things, the cutaway highlights of his former Memphis teammates cheering with each home run in the Memphis clubhouse. That was really cool, too.
Yeah. If it were me, after my 3rd home run, I would have just quit and gone home.
Can't get any better.
Just you're batting 1,000 and you hit 3 home runs. Well, why ruin it after that? What do you have to prove after that?
It's over. I'm done.
Then the next day, the poor guy strikes out 3 times.
Well, and I know that some follow, because he hadn't had a hit since then, and but he's hitting the ball hard everywhere, and so I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be one of those guys. He's a slugger. So in the modern game, that comes with strikeouts. It's going to happen. But as long as he's hitting the ball hard, that tells you that he's in a pretty good place.
Yeah.
But like all hitters, there'll be ups and downs. And like I say, even though he's hitting under 200 after, 4 games, he is getting good swings and hitting the ball hard. So I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think of the Cardinals this year. I'm watching these guys for 25 years now. This could be one of the most fun summers watching the Cardinals. Just fun to watch the new guys. It's been a fun summer.
Well, you've got the right attitude on that. And will they make the playoffs? Don't know. They're in a pretty good position if they can get through this current kind of tough stretch of games. September opens up a little bit for you to accumulate wins if you if you keep playing good baseball like they are for the most part now. So there's still a shot at that. The big picture is, though, in a rebuild year, watching young guys and prospects play, learn the game, and win while you're doing it. That's what's really positive about the season.
Let's talk about the BMW championships out at Belle Reve. Man, St. Louis, pulls out all the stops and they roll out the red carpet for this type of stuff.
Going back to, 8 years ago when it was last in town, I was blown away by two things. One, how the PGA runs an event. And they basically build a city on the host golf course. And it's really remarkable. But moreover, the fan turnout and support for events. And this is me being a little defensive about my town and the fans. We have a deserved reputation of being great baseball fans. This is a great sports town, really turning out for one big event after another. I'm sure it's going to be the same way all week. It's sold out. And I wish we'd get, not that it really matters, but it'd be nice to get a little more of a national pat on the back for being a great sports town.
Yeah, it's not only a great sports town, but it's a great spectator town, right? You two guys playing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. The fans turning out.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's football, whether it's the Battle Hawks, whether it's a random golf tournament here or there, whether it's soccer or Cardinals, right? I mean, you're right. We show up and cheer them on in numbers that I don't think you see in other parts of the country. Yeah,
NCAA events, one right after the other. Whether it's the big giant sports, getting some random NCAA tournament games, but wrestling and hockey and all the different things that, sort of take their turns coming through St. Louis. And our sports fans are just truly remarkable.
Yeah, really good stuff. Speaking of that, don't look now, but the soccer team's on a little bit of a run.
They are. And sort of after the and actually it started a little bit before the World Cup break. The offense has finally started to click. I think Berkey being back gave more confidence to the back and scoring more goals. Are you going to you lost Hurdle, though. Are you going to lose Leuven? I know there's the midfielder. There's a lot of talk that they can't come to terms in his contract. I think the club would love to keep him through the end of the season and playoffs should St. Louis get in the playoffs. And it looks like they're in a pretty good position right now. If you kind of look ahead to the schedule. So will you keep him in the long run? It sounds like he kind of wants to go home to Germany, and you don't really blame him. Had the tragedy of losing his wife last March. So I kind of get that. So can they keep him through the next couple of months to kind of keep this progress going? So that's going to be interesting to see whether they can keep Leuven or not.
There you go. Bob Ramsey, have yourself a good day. We'll check in between 3 and 6 each and every weekday here on the Big 550 KTRS. Thanks, man.
Thanks, McGraw.
You got it. 814, Big 550 KTRS. Once again, Captain Paul, St. Louis, Classic Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, an accident on 55 North at Gravois is causing stop-and-go traffic back to 4500 South Broadway. 64 East is slow between Boone's Crossing and 141 and around 170. 270 North heavy from 55 all the way to Doherty Ferry. 64 West is jammed from Illinois 159 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues through 15th Street in East St. Louis. 5570 West is congested between 255 and Black Lane. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. And there are also closures along Mason Road near Whitfield School. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your single tickets now for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Then Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm meteorologist Chance Koch with your first alert forecast. We're tracking highs towards the upper 80s today, partly sunny skies after a little bit of a cooler start with temperatures towards the upper 60s. Into the deep overnight hours early Wednesday morning, talking between 2 to 4 a.m., going to be tracking scattered showers and storms becoming widespread by Wednesday morning's a.m. commute. Could see some gusty winds, some heavier downpours as our primary threats. That'll remain scattered to isolated as we head towards the afternoon hours, drying out into Thursday, with highs towards mid-80s. Into Thursday afternoon, we'll look at a lot of sunshine towards the upcoming weekend ahead. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Koch for the Big 550 KTRS.
I would probably avoid Belle Reve area altogether, right? Whitfield and all that. Yeah, just sort of do what you can to avoid that the rest of the week. Let's talk about redoing your bath and your shower. That's where Jacob Baths and Showers comes in. Good thing we're talking about them because we can need Jacob. Listen to this. They will replace your old, worn out, sort of dull tub surround with the soap scum filled doors. They'll take all that out and they'll replace it with something that looks very fancy. Whether it's beautiful colors and designs, they use composite materials that look like luxury stone. They use composite materials that look like tile and grout. And it comes with maintenance-free and with the look and the feel, and yet maintenance-free. Jacob Baths will install a low-threshold walk-in shower, grab bars and seats if you want, maybe a non-stick surface for the shower floor. And again, all of this will be done in 1 to 2 days. Jacob Baths is an expert. They've been doing this for 50 years. They don't overlay anything. They take out all the mold and the mildew, and they put in the good stuff. You want to see what they can do? Fenton and Fairview Heights, they got 2 showrooms, one on each side of the river. Their drop-down menu, ask about the McGraw special, 1-800-222-6676. Jacob Baths. You need a new bath. You need a new shower. You need Jacob. JacobBaths.com.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
It's lurking in your basement, over there in the corner. Or it could be mold and mildew, or even that musty smell. All signs of water entering your basement and causing damage to your most expensive investment, your home. When you suspect water damage, use the hometown waterproofing experts at Permajack of St. Louis. Permajack provides permanent solutions to all your nagging water problems. Whether it's a simple crack repair, perimeter drainage system, waterproof wall panels, exterior waterproofing, or even installing a sump pump, Permajack of St. Louis does it, and they do it right. After all, Permajack is the company St. Louis has trusted for almost 50 years. If you've noticed water in your basement, contact us for a free inspection, system design, and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, foundation repair and waterproofing. Done right.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So your next 5 minutes could be your most productive 5 minutes in years, at least when it comes to your finances anyway. That's all it takes to find out exactly how much you'll save joining MediShare versus what you're paying now for healthcare, it's very typical for people to find out they can save hundreds a month, thousands a year. The typical family saves up to $500 a month. And healthcare sharing is different. It's refreshing. We know from member surveys, people love saving the money, of course, but they also just like MediShare more than what they were doing before for healthcare costs. And it's not a new thing. It's been proven for more than 30 years. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are part of this. So call them now. They are great to talk to. And very quickly, you'll find out what you can save. You can get your questions answered. Your next 5 minutes could mean saving hundreds a month. And here is the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
If you're from St. Louis, you likely have a Maggie O'Brien story. Maggie O'Brien's has become an iconic local hotspot for St. Louis sports, holiday parties, corporate and private events in downtown St. Louis for food and fun with distinctive Irish flair. Do check out their location in Sunset Hills. Maggie O's.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnard has been serving your boating needs for 40 years. Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my son, Ryan.
Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat from Inland Marine Boats, your Mercury Marine dealer.
Now back to McGraw, presented by London Chevrolet, the London Autoplex, and London.com on the Big 550.
Sure has hit a low point, and the relationship is fraying after the story today. Antonio French, St. Louis Post-Dispatch columnist, joined us to talk about it. I guess before we get to the particulars of it, it's a pretty contentious relationship between the mayor and the police these days, huh?
Oh, that's putting it lightly. Yeah, it's pretty bad. With the state takeover and really the way that this new board of commissioners is going to come in, they made clear that they really don't feel like part of the city. They're doing their own thing, and that the city, their claim is that the city has to fund whatever they say needs to be funded. The mayor doesn't have much of a voice. She's one of her vote is diluted on that board. She's the only representation of city government on that board. And it's just been getting worse and worse by the day. And I think we really reached kind of a low point right now.
So the story today is there's a police officer who passed away, took his own life, tragically enough. And during the funeral, I guess the mayor started talking to a couple of police officers who were paying their respects. And that's where the story ends in terms of who's telling what. The mayor tells a very different story. The police officers say that she was trying to negotiate or talk about all sorts of budgetary items during a very somber funeral. She denies it, but this sort of tit for tat going on during a funeral of a police officer kind of shows how the relationship how far down it has gone.
Yeah, and that there's these dueling descriptions of what happened. I mean, the mayor says basically that two officers were at the funeral, and she struck up a conversation with them, or they asked her some questions. She said in no way would she describe the encounter as confrontational or as trying to negotiate the budget. Obviously these are not two individuals you would have any authority to even negotiate the budget with. So as a public official too, it sucks because people come up to you and they ask you questions, you answer them, you try to engage them. What you don't want or expect is for them to then immediately go out, publicize, or to give a false description from her perspective of what that conversation was. Some conversations should be private, but the police union has seen this as an opportunity, I think, to kind of throw some shade on the mayor and make her look bad. And actually, I think it makes them look bad as well. This is not, it really shouldn't be about either one of them. It should be about the officers they were there to recognize and later arrest.
Yeah, that's one of the sort of tentacles of this is it's a funeral, and the last place you want to do is talk about your budget negotiations or budget situations or budget arguments while you're paying our respects for a police officer. They're all there to pay their respects to the friends and the family, and just let it be that. To turn it somehow political, and who knows what was said during the conversation. find it hard to believe, as you said, she'd be negotiating something with these police officers. They are clearly upset, probably took it the wrong, whatever she said, probably took it the wrong way, put something on social media, and it gets lost in translation, and all of a sudden you have a war of words on your hand. Sad reality, but that's sort of where we are now.
Yeah, and it really highlights a bigger problem, though, is that there's this really complete disconnect right now between City Hall and the police department when it comes to the direction of the city, especially regarding public safety. The mayor, the police chief, the police board, and I would say rank and file police officers are not on the same page, and that doesn't give a lot of faith to your average citizen because they want their leaders to be working together on this enormous problem, one of the defining problems of St. Louis City, and instead they're fighting each other, and now it's getting so petty as to now we are learning about private conversations at funerals, and that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, no, it is. And I kind of feel for Kara Spencer. She'd love to pay the cops $1 million each, but it's just they don't have the budget. You can't break the bank, and so there's a give and a take, and sad reality when it's all said and done. All right, Antonio French, we will leave it there. Thanks for checking in. As always, we'll talk to you on Thursday.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You got it. The story. Rose has had it all morning long at this funeral of this police officer, and apparently some words were spoken, accurately as possible. I have no idea, but you can certainly see how something was taken out of context or something was struck a nerve with somebody. The police chief said he wasn't there. He was not present for the conversation, but he heard about it from the officers. Kara Spencer has released a statement that she did not, she was there to pay her respects. And by no means did the conversation turn into any type of discussion concerning compensation or benefits or anything like that.
I wonder if the police officers themselves felt that way, or if everything got misconstrued and like the board, you know what I mean? Like, we saw you talking. I wonder if the board or the cops themselves, the police officers that were talking to her, if they were the ones that were like, it was crazy, or if someone saw them talking and just kind of was like, what were you guys talking about?
Well, I suspect that everyone's right on this, in that I think the police officers were probably, a little bit raw because they were at a funeral of one of their fallen comrades, and it was by suicide. So that adds another layer of stress to it. And I'm sure that they went up to her, or she went up to them, just innocently, had a conversation. And we've all been there where you have a conversation with somebody and then it gets back to you and you're like, that's not even close to the conversation we had. But that's not what I said, but that's what they heard. And so that's not what she said, but that's what they heard. But hopefully cooler heads prevail. And I don't think she meant any disrespect by it. Whatever she said, I don't think she meant any disrespect. So hopefully they can find some common ground and try and figure all this out. But it's a contentious time between the police and the mayor's office and the state. 8:28 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's do this. Let's do traffic and weather. We'll check in with Altair Travel and Cruises. Then we'll check in with Ryan Raphael. And then I got to tell you about this ultimate ticket giveaway, as all in conjunction with the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer radioathon that we're doing on Thursday. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
McGraw, there is a crash on 364 East at the Veterans Memorial Bridge. An accident on 55 North at Gravois is causing stop-and-go traffic back to Gasconade. 64 East is slow around 141 and from 170 to Big Bend. 270 North heavy from Tesson Ferry up to Doherty Ferry. 64 West is jammed from Illinois 159 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues to 15th Street in East St. Louis. 5570 West is slow between 255 and Illinois 203. And road closures are in place around Bell Reeve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. There are also closures along Mason Road near Whitfield School. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
73 degrees here at the Big 550 KTRS, all the way up to mid-80s. No rain in the forecast, plenty of sunshine. Could be nice both today and tomorrow. Maybe a little bit of rain tomorrow, but otherwise mid-80s. That heat and the humidity at least passed for a while. 73 right now at 8:30. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Luigi Mangione's state murder trial and the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has been postponed indefinitely. His lawyers are seeking to have the case dismissed on double jeopardy grounds after Mangione pleaded guilty to federal charges last week. The Justice Department has finalized a rule that will pave the way for people who've been barred from owning firearms because of criminal convictions to apply to have their gun rights reinstated. The process, launched by newly confirmed Attorney General Todd Blanche, is a victory for Second Amendment advocates who have long pushed for nonviolent people with felony convictions to be given a pathway to regain their legal right to own firearms. In local headlines, a boil water advisory for tens of thousands of St. Louis residents could end as soon as today. City officials are waiting on water sample test results after a power outage at the Chain of Rocks water treatment plant caused the water pressure to temporarily drop below safety standards. And the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has named the semifinalists for the 2027 Missouri Teacher of the Year Award. Among the semifinalists are Jennifer Moore in the Kirkwood School District, Sarah Newton in the Valley Park School District, Tamara Turner McLean, and Sarah Mounier in the Rockwood School District. 70 degrees. Time now is 8:31. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
The Heidi Glau Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on KTRS.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
You know our names. We want to know yours. Let us get to know you by texting us to 84126. The latest news, traffic, weather, sports, and of course, lots of laughs. Give us a call, 314-931-5877. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on the Big 550 KTRS. Depend on it.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freeriks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
I'm Bob Hardcastle. Listen to my Money Talk radio program every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on the Big 550, where we discuss your money in an easy-to-understand manner. We have interesting guests, chat about money. We try to help you feel more comfortable with your money by talking about the investment market. Join me. I'm Bob Hardcastle.
Money Talk, Sunday morning at 8 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's check in with the leader of the pack over there at Altair Travel and Cruises, Angie Markway. Angie, welcome back, my friend.
Hi, McGraw. How are you today?
We're doing good. I left you a message last week.
I heard you talk to Sherry and have some secret things going on.
Yes, I don't want to announce it, but I just want to know the package has been delivered, and you're looking into it, I'm assuming.
We are,
Okay.
yes.
All right, good.
We are definitely looking into it, and hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah, that'd be a fun little getaway, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
It would. It's a tricky one, but we're pretty good around here.
Yes,
so let's
you
see
are.
what we
Yes,
can
you are.
handle.
There's a little tease for you. We won't mention who, what, when, where, why, but just know there's some back channel communications going on to see if we can pull something off here. All right.
Yes.
Let's before we get to your A-list deal, there was something I was reading last night, and it was quite interesting, and I wanted to bring it up to you. I wanted to go rogue. And there is a Google term that is being elevated when it comes to travel. And apparently a lot of people are searching the phrase solo travel around Kansas City, Missouri, throughout the country. A lot of people talking about travel, but writing solo travel. We've talked about that before. There's a lot of people who do quote unquote solo travel.
Definitely there is. And there is a need for that. And there are so many travel companies. And when I mean companies, like suppliers that we sell that are grabbing onto that as well. So offering better solo rates, because typically when you travel solo, you pay a significantly higher price by, using a cruise cabin only for yourself. That cruise company is not getting a cabin filled for two, so they're going to charge you, high, or a cost and a half. So what these cruise companies have been doing, or tour companies, they're offering a certain percentage of their space at like a no solo
penalty,
basically. And that sounds silly, because they, there shouldn't be a penalty to travel by yourself, but there certainly is. And so these companies, and I'm telling you, those spots go fast, so let's just say Tauk Tours on their river cruises, all their cabin E's have no solo supplement. So if you see a price for $5,500 on a cabin E, that is your price traveling as a solo. Where if you wanted to pick cabin K, for instance, if you wanted to go as a solo, you're going to pay time and a half. And so, I mean, the idea why people are searching it is they're searching out, where can I find the best solo rates? Some companies like Virgin Voyages, I just recently read in one of my trade magazines, next year, they're going to have no solo supplements, so they're, companies are hearing what that search is and listening, I wouldn't say across the board we're going to see that. I think across the board you're still going to see some certain space held back for solos. I wouldn't say it's going to be a trend where, the full ship is no solo supplement.
Well, and that's why I think, and we've talked about this before, that's why our group trips are so good, because you can travel as a solo, do it on your own as you want, but then it's always nice to have strength in numbers. So you get better pricing as a group. But yet when you want to go off and spend a day doing something, you can go off and spend a day.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And have the comfort to know, okay, well, when I get back, I have someone to grab dinner with or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the beauty of the St. Louis groups for sure. Now, I think you also get that if you just go on a group, even a group that we didn't host. People are nice that travel. So typically, if you're with the same people, if you don't know them from St. Louis and you're on a different group, you're going to mesh with somebody and you would make time to have dinner or whatever. So definitely that is the beauty of groups. And like Colette Tours, their solo supplement is really, really fair. And so they tend to get a lot of solos on their tours.
All right. So there you go. Solo travel. Don't Google it. Just go over to Altair Travel and Cruises. They will take care of you as always. Now let's talk about this A-lister for St. Louis Magazine. What is this, 35 years in a row now?
I don't know, but I know it's 3. Which is so nice and so crazy to think that 3 years in a row we've won it. I just appreciate the support we have from St. Louis and from our clients and our listeners to always put us at the top when they can. When they have a chance to vote for us, they definitely do. And it's a great honor. It fuels us in the office to win. We are competitive. We like to win. I'm a family of athletes.
Yes.
So I like the trophy, and so it's nice to have the A-list trophy sitting on our shelves,
Well,
for sure.
It is nice to be called out as people recognizing Altair Travel as the best. But you're in the 23rd, 24th largest market in the country, and yet you consistently rank in the top 10 travel agents around the country in the industry standard. So you definitely outkick your coverage. You play with the big boys, and yet you haven't lost that hometown feel.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's a great business that my mom, kept rolling, and Haley and I are honored to keep it going.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always get a chuckle. Every once in a while, I chuckle when she told me the story that she thought she arrived when they got the ticketing machine in, and it was as big as the conference room.
Right. And we had to have it all under lock and key. It was like armed guard behind there because those tickets were live tickets.
Yeah.
And now, it's funny. We just had some issues going on with our door to the ticketing room. And I'm like, we don't even need to lock it anymore. Like the industry has really changed, and she weathered all those changes very, very well.
Yeah, no question about it. All right. Altair Travel and Cruises, the A-listers, the best in the business. 314-968-9600. I haven't talked to you since Mike Ward came back. Everybody had a great trip on the Mike Ward trip?
Oh, it went fabulous. Now, the rivers were low.
Right.
So they had to, and I think you might have done that before, where when the river doesn't flow, you have to kind of bus to the next stop. And
Right.
so they had some of that going on, but they had a great group. They made the best of it. And, Amma did a really good job maneuvering all those shifts.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was really special. I think I saw some great pictures, and I think it was a great trip.
Yeah, we had to do that. There was a strike going on. There was a lock and dam
strike.
strike.
It was a strike. You're right. Yeah, it wasn't the low water. This season, though, the low water has been really, really bad. So it's been hard for the river cruises.
Yeah, and going on a river cruise with Mike Ward, then having to get off. I'm sure he had some extra wine on those buses as they were going from.
Lots of wine drinking for sure.
There you go.
For sure.
All right, Angie Markway, get back to work on our secret project, and let me know what you find out.
I will, McGraw. Have a great day.
You got it.
All right, take care.
One of the best, one of the sweetest, Altair Travel and Cruises. Now, no, don't take my word for it. St. Louis Magazine calls it the A-lister, right? The A-list. Can't get any better than that. 314-968-9600, Altair. You want to travel alone or with a group? None better. Altair Travel or altairtravel.com. St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here once again is Captain Paul.
McGraw, we have an accident on 70 East past Mid-Rivers Mall with a backup to 79. There's a crash on 364 East at the Veterans Memorial Bridge with the slowdown back to Mugi and 94. An accident on 55 North at Gravois is causing a stop and go back up to Potomac. 64 East is slow around 141, and from McKnight to Big Bend 64 west crowded from Clayton Skinker to McCausland. 270 north is heavy from Tesson Ferry up to Doherty Ferry. 64 west jammed from Illinois 157 to 255. That's where the 64 west closure starts and continues through 15th Street in East St. Louis. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Near normal heat for our Tuesday. We'll start off at 66 in the morning and some patchy fog. Light winds during the day, partly to mostly sunny skies, and a high of 88. That is a hot day, but it's also our normal high. So near normal heat Tuesday. Overnight into Wednesday morning, some scattered storms are likely. An isolated storm or shower later in the day Wednesday is possible, but a lower chance. So better chance of rain will be Wednesday morning with a high of 85 and very humid Wednesday as well. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk Country Club Car Wash. I was there yesterday, as a matter of fact. I drove the car through the dump, and I, kind of smelly and stinky and whatever else, and some mud and grime. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me go run it by Country Club Car Wash, and did exactly that. Came out clean on the other side. Would you like a summer sparkler promotion courtesy of Country Club Car Wash? I bet you would. Listen to this. Buy 2 ultimate washes, and they'll give you 2 free. So buy 2, get 4. It's a pretty good deal. Now, those 4 ultimate exterior washes will cost you $52. It's just over $10 a wash. So that's great. Now, I've seen the inside of your car. You really should clean the inside, too, while you're there. So the Country Club Car Wash Summer Sparkler Promotion consists of 4 ultimate exterior washes and 4 interior cleaning for a total of $92. That's just over $20 a pop. That's a good deal. I'm telling you. Country Club Car Wash, 5 area locations. Make sure it says country. If it doesn't say country, it is not local. It is not St. Louis. CCCWSTL.com. You can buy these promotions online or in person at the store. Country Club Car Wash or CCCWSTL.com.
Calling all Metro East residents. The weather may be unpredictable, but that doesn't mean your home comfort has to be. From emergency heating and cooling emergencies and repairs to new systems and yearly maintenance checks, you can feel confident that you're ready for whatever Mother Nature throws at you with the help from the friends at Viviano. Get quality, reliable service every time, any season. Go to their website, VivianoAir.com. That's VivianoAir.com. Train, the most reliable name in heating and cooling around. It's hard to stop a train.
We have a huge responsibility to raise and educate our children. Let's give our children a solid foundation for tomorrow by teaching them to say yes to life, and education by saying no to drugs and alcohol. This message courtesy of Accurate Mechanical Contractors, proudly serving the greater St. Louis area for over 21 years. They're currently hiring energetic pipe fitters and more. Call 314-291-4336. That's 314-291-4336. Accurate Mechanical Contractors is on the air because they care.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Hello, everyone. This is Zipper Zeppa. The Mater Media Speaker Series is upon us. Coming up in September, John O'Leary, Bill O'Reilly, Dr. Ira DeWitt, Eric Jennis, Leo Severino, and Cardinal Timothy Dolan live and in person in St. Louis. Get your tickets. Here's a special deal, 25% off for KTRS listeners. Go to matermedia.org/KTRS. That's matermedia.org/KTRS.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, a little rush for you. Don't all rush to Ryan Raphael all at once. Take your time. He'll be there. He's not going anywhere.
Nice segue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am here for you. There you go. Ryan Raphael, the Medicare Man, MedicareManSTL.com. What is Medicare A, B, C, and D?
Okay, so Medicare Part A is the hospital portion of Medicare. Part B is the medical part. And so Part A and Part B are known as original Medicare. Part C are the Medicare Advantage plans, and Part D is the prescription drug plans.
Are one of them going away or something changing dramatically?
You know what? There is not one going away, but I did get a ton of calls about the subsidies going away for the drug plans. And all that's happening is just a little bit of help with the monthly premiums. But I did have a ton of people calling me saying, Ryan, what's going on? You know, the drug plans are going away. What do I do? And they're not going away. And the rumors are that the drug plans may go up like $10 to $20 more per month. And those would be just the what's called standalone drug plans. So somebody that has one by itself.
Gotcha.
So, but they're not going anywhere.
How long does an appointment take for you to figure out together what's the best way to go?
I'd say usually 8 or 9 hours, somewhere in there. No, it's actually about an hour or less. I mean, it really does not go long. I mean, I've had many appointments that go like 30, 45 minutes, and we were thorough and
Right.
not rushing.
Yeah. And then it's most important to know that as you approach, is that there's two different camps you're in, approaching 65 and or over 65, right?
Right. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. And that's where people get a little lost navigating I call it the Medicare maze or whatever. And it's overwhelming. I mean, people are getting opinions from friends and family, reading, hearing things, maybe don't need to sign up, but they think they need to sign up at 65 or they'll pay penalties. So it's just a lot of misinformation, a lot of things that float around there that most of the time are not actually true.
Yeah, and a lot of things you're not thinking about, right? If somebody might give you misinformation, but you're missing the real information you need to make an informed decision.
Yeah, I'd say so. And again, it's not the blame. A lot of times people's friends are the ones giving them the misinformation, but it's just a lot of stuff. And it's like, well, how do you navigate and how do you choose or when do you need to choose what time frame? So I think it's just that. And to me, it's just a very, very easy explanation.
And people who are approaching 65, sometimes you recommend for them to stay on their, if they're not retiring and they have a plan and they like it, oftentimes you say, don't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly that, because so many people are led to believe that I'm turning 65 and I have to sign up for Medicare no matter what. And that's not actually the case. If they're covered by an employer plan and they're still working, or if they have a spouse and that spouse is still working, most of the time they can just continue on with the group coverage and there are no penalties. And I get a lot of people who do reach out approaching 65. I really appreciate that. But they're all thinking, all right, what do I got to do to sign up? And pretty much my first question is, are you covered under an employer plan and still working?
Right. And you're more than happy to say, hold tight, hang tight, wait until something changes, and then make
that. Or the other side to it, though, is some people don't have the greatest employer coverage, and so there are many people that want to compare with Medicare plan options just to see if, you know what, let's see if something else is better for me while I'm still working, and they'll actually drop their group coverage. Of course, if it makes proper business sense.
Yeah, right. No, but that's the thing, right? You're there to help navigate them and to explain what this plan does versus that plan does and the cost and everything else.
Exactly that.
Speaking of that, how do you get paid?
I'm paid by the insurance companies that people go with, and that's all regulated by Medicare. So if somebody goes with a Medicare supplement, those all pay the same, and the same thing with the Medicare Advantage plans. Those all pay the same. And important to note, just because there's not favoritism and Medicare doesn't want brokers like me pushing plans, carrying on about this, not telling about that. So I'm licensed with just about every possible option. And my goal is just that the person gets what's best for them.
That's as you approach 65. How does it switch when you're over 65, either 66, 67, going on Medicare for the first time and or already on Medicare?
Yeah, so if somebody is, again, retiring or leaving group coverage, then I just sort of tell them when they need to get some paperwork turned in. And then we get going on figuring out a plan. And then if somebody's already on Medicare, the Medicare enrollment period that's coming up, that is when most people can review things. And that's exactly what I'm happy to help people do, just to make sure they're in the right plan. A lot of times I tell people, you're in the right plan. Many people are not in the right plan, and they just need to have a review and just see if something saves them money or whatever.
That's what the nanny plan is, right? The nanny
Yes, it
review
is
plan,
the nanny
right?
plan.
She's been a
Right.
long time.
We should call it that, the nanny plan.
The nanny plan, yes. Just call and make sure you're in the right plan. So there you go. Ryan Raphael, MedicareMan, STL.com, 314-368-6808, 314-368-6808, or MedicareMan, STL.com. And if you see him at a Rush concert, talk to him about the music. Don't talk to him about your Medicare plan. Okay, please.
Otherwise, I would. I do want to get a quick shout out. My brother is driving up with my nephew from Georgia, taking him to Mizzou. So they're in the car. I think they're tuning in. So, yeah, I just want to say hi to them. And my brother works for a baseball team called the Macon Bacon. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it's down. It's the Macon Bacon, and their nephew.
What does he do for him?
He's their president. Yeah, but the mascot there, believe it or not, is Kevin Bacon. That is their mascot, Kevin, which my nephew was their mascot for several years, and now he's going off to college. But
so is it a minor league team?
It's actually a summer league team, so it's for all the college kids that want to keep going in the summer and stay sharp. So they play that. They used to play the Savannah Bananas before they became very popular. I think a lot of people know them, but yeah. So.
And your brother's the president of the team.
Yes.
And your nephew is going to become a freshman at Mizzou?
He is, yeah. So
is he going to become Truman the Tiger? Or
I think he wants to.
I would think he has a leg up because he was Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, exactly.
So 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, we're like 2 degrees, right?
Yeah. So we're excited to see them tonight.
Good stuff. All right, drive safe and lock it into 550 and rip off the knob. No need to listen to anything else.
Right.
And when you turn 65, call your uncle, Ryan Raphael.
There you go.
314-368-6808 or MedicareManSTL.com.
Thank you.
Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. We have an accident on 70 East past Mid Rivers Mall with a backup to 79. There's a crash on 364 East at the Veterans Memorial Bridge, but there's not much of a slowdown there. An accident on 55 North at Gravois is causing a backup to 3200 South Broadway. 270 North is heavy from 44 up to Doherty Ferry. 64 West jammed from Illinois 159 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues to 15th Street in East St. Louis. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. And there are also closures along Mason Road near Whitfield School. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
You know, that honeydew list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honeydew list, Schnarr's Hardware, or schnarrshardware.com.
Ask any designer, and they'll tell you lighting is key. It's Heidi, and you can completely transform your home with Nora Lighting, which is available at my go-to store, Metro Lighting. From recessed to under cabinet lighting, Nora helps brighten every corner beautifully. Visit Metro Lighting St. Louis area showrooms to explore all the Nora Lighting solutions, or check them out online at metrolightingcenters.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump says the U.S. has no talks planned with Iran, but insists the Strait of Hormuz is operating despite limited traffic. Earlier today, the president posted an image of a map on social media with the Strait of Hormuz labeled a new U.S. territory. Iran's deputy foreign minister responding, calling Trump a delusional man. On Monday, the president said the U.S. may bomb the expletive out of U.S. ally Oman if talks with Iran on reopening the strait don't end the way the U.S. wants. ABC News contributor, former ambassador to NATO, Doug Lute, with more on what that latest threat could mean.
The rhetorical threat against Oman signals to the other Persian Gulf partners, so ranging from Oman through the Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, the Saudis, that the U.S. is increasingly adrift of trying to find a path between war and peace. And that path is so far very uncertain. And so the president speaks out even against close partners like Oman.
Brent crude oil, the international benchmark, trading at over $90 a barrel once again. Major flooding in the Midwest, giving way to major heat across the South.
It has been around for more than a week in Oklahoma City. Today, they're in an extreme heat warning. They're going for 107, the feels like. Dallas, 106. New Orleans, 109. Pensacola, 110. Charleston, Wilmington, all in that extreme heat warning down to Jacksonville. I wish I could tell you that this breaks, but this ridge is stuck.
ABC Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z. Cleanup in Indiana and Ohio, where days of thunderstorms have led to widespread flooding and 7 deaths. Social media giant Meta is in court again today, facing another lawsuit, this one from nearly 30 state attorneys general over the alleged harm caused by Meta social media apps Facebook and Instagram. Checking the markets, the Dow is down 38 points. You're listening to ABC News.
This has been the talk of St. Louis for 30 years, and we aren't stopping now. We are the Big 550, KTRS St. Louis. Depend on it.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
72 degrees at 9:03. A judge has issued an arrest warrant for a former presidential candidate who did not show up for a court appearance in St. Louis. Officials say Dr. Jill Stein and her attorney failed to appear in court Monday morning on trespassing and assault charges stemming from an incident during a protest at Washington University in April 2024. Prosecutors say Stein grabbed one officer's bicycle and kicked another officer multiple times. Stein was the Green Party candidate for president in 2012, 2016, and 2024. St. Louis Public Schools is moving closer to overhaul its facilities and resources. The district has gathered community feedback during a series of public meetings, resulting in 3 models being considered. A proposal will be presented during a public meeting on August 25th. More than a century-old building in Webster Groves could have a date with the wrecking ball. Webster Groves has deemed the Ozark Theater dangerous after a building inspection. The city has given the owner, Onder Properties, until September 4th to start repairs or demolish the building. The St. Louis Zoo is bringing in an endangered species into its insectarium. KTRS's Brendan Weesey has details.
34 hump tree snails have arrived as part of an emergency rescue effort ahead of Category 5 Super Typhoon Bavi in Guam. These are the first ever hump tree snails to make their home at the St. Louis Zoo and is an incredible milestone for the endangered species, which exists in only a few small, isolated groups across Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. The newly arrived hump tree snails are settling into a specialized incubator habitat behind the scenes at the Bear Insectarium, which replicates the temperature and humidity conditions of their native Guam. I'm Brendan Weesey, KTRS News.
Movie theater workers at the Alamo Draft House at the Foundry are looking to unionize. Workers cite a reduction in hours, fewer tips, and a lack of respect for their decision to organize under the United Auto Workers Union. Clint McGill, an international representative with the UAW, said they currently have a majority and plan to file an election petition with the National Labor Relations Board. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 right here on the Big 550. The Dow is down 36 points to 53,500. The S&P is down 39 points to 7,800. And the NASDAQ is down 323 points to 26,400. In KTRS Sports, Cards had to settle for a split and a doubleheader with the Reds, losing the nightcap 6-5 in 10 innings. Joshua Baez went 0 for 5 at the plate as he continues to search for his first hit since his 3-home-run barrage on Saturday. Mizzou football is ranked number 25 in the preseason Associated Press poll. 5 Tiger opponents are once again ranked in the top 10, highlighting the difficulty of MU's SEC campaign this year. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic, let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Causa Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads, where we find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
Rose, we have an accident on 70 East past Mid-Rivers Mall with a backup 279. 64 West is jammed from Illinois 157 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues to 15th Street in East St. Louis. And road closures are in place around Bell Reef Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. And there are also closures along Mason Road near Whitfield School. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, sunny today with a high of 87, cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 71, and tomorrow rain and storms possible with a high of 82. 72 degrees here at 9:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
Lauren, can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
If your parents were buying a home tomorrow, would you represent them any differently than one of your clients?
Not a chance. And when I say that, I mean, I treat my clients exactly like I'd treat my parents. Same honesty, same advice, same negotiation. every client gets the same service.
Okay, second question. If one of your closest friends called you and said, I found a house, I'm in love with it, but you knew it was a bad decision, what would you do?
I've already done it before. I tell them no, don't buy it. My job isn't to sell people houses. It's to help them make good decisions. And sometimes that means they don't get to buy anything that day.
That's exactly why I've sent my friends and family to Larn for years.
I mean, it's simple. Buying and selling a house, it's a big deal. And people deserve to have someone who's willing to tell them what they need to hear and not just what they want to hear.
Exactly. If you already know Larn from listening every week, then you already know the kind of person she is. When it's time to make your move, give Larn Risley Realty a call at 314-775-0684.
Home loan rates are changing daily. If you're in the market for a new home, you may be able to get a better rate than you think. The First Community Members Best Loan is available for qualified borrowers for just 6.016 APR with a 30-year term. And while some loan rates are subject to change daily, the Members Best Home Loan is available right now at that rate. So check it out at firstcommunity.com or call toll-free 1-888-642-7969 for complete terms and conditions.
If you're from St. Louis, you likely have a Maggie O'Brien's story. Maggie O'Brien's has become an iconic local hotspot for St. Louis sports, holiday parties, corporate and private events in downtown St. Louis for food and fun with distinctive Irish flair. Do check out their location in Sunset Hills, Maggie O's.
Why wait to build when you can move in now? Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes. For a limited time, save up to $30,000 on a brand new move-in ready TR Hughes home. That's right, incredible savings, no construction time, and the keys to your new home sooner than you ever imagined. But don't wait. This opportunity won't last. Discover your dream home and save big today. Visit trhughes.com for details. That's trhughes.com.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Lionel Richie, live in concert. Playing at the Muni, Saturday, August 29th. Get tickets now at metrotix.com.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Live and local.
Depend on it. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right. Thursday is the KTRS Men's Group Against Cancer Radiothon. We've been doing this for a number of years, 15, 16 years. Somehow we survived COVID and was able to continue on. So tomorrow, Thursday is the big day where we'll dedicate large chunks of each show to raising money for a wonderful organization called St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. However, tomorrow, to wet your whistle a little bit, to get you in the mood, we are going to be having a ultimate sports ticket package auction. This starts tomorrow at 6 a.m. and runs through 5:45, and then Heidi, Josh, and Bob will announce the winner. It's a $1,500 value. However, these things really should be more than that, and these are things you probably can't get. Here is the ultimate sports package. Here's what you get. You'll be bidding on this starting tomorrow. So don't bid now. You're going to text your name and your bid to 84126, and the winning bid will win all of the tickets. And the winning bid will be announced at 5:45 tomorrow. Here are the tickets. 2 tickets to a Cardinals 2027 opening weekend game. 2 tickets to a 27 Battlehawks game. 2 tickets to a St. Louis Ambush game. 2 tickets to a SLU basketball game. 2 tickets to a Missouri game in Columbia. 2 tickets to a Blues regular season game 8 rows from the ice. 2 tickets to a Mizzou football game versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's their home opener on September 3rd. 2 tickets to a St. Louis City soccer game at a mutually agreed upon date at Energizer Park. and 2 tickets to this Sunday's sold-out final round of the BMW Championships at Belle Reve.
Whoa.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tickets, 9 events. So the winning bid will come from the text message. The winning bids will start tomorrow at 6. We'll mention it more tomorrow, but that's just hot off the presses here at the Big 550 KTRS. I'm reading a story in the Wall Street Journal about oftentimes St. Louis is compared to Baltimore and the dysfunction that is Baltimore.
The Wire.
The Wire. And their structure is set up very similar to St. Louis. Well, the story in the Wall Street Journal, which was this, when did this come out? I can't find the date here. Last couple of days. Story in the Wall Street Journal is about, first of all, crime in Baltimore is plummeting. The first time in decades that they're going to have a murder rate, if things keep up the way they are, under 100, which is unbelievable for the city of Baltimore. But what they are doing is they are noticing in Baltimore that there are large swaths of, shall we say, dilapidated housing infrastructure is all of a sudden creating quite a demand when it comes to developers and or people looking to move in. Now, not every neighborhood, but the demand for Baltimore housing has cut its vacancy rate by nearly a third over the last decade. And they plan to eliminate the problem, eliminate the vacancy problem. Burned out buildings that don't exist, buildings that are boarded up. They plan to cut its vacancy program by a third over the last decade, and they're planning on having it eliminated by 2038.
Huh.
So, if you watched The Wire, you saw all those burned out buildings and all those, right? Yeah, they want those all cleaned up. Now, how are they doing this? Okay. One, the city and the state have committed unprecedented levels of funding to help get it done. That'll fix any problem. Nonprofit developers have adopted a strategy of rehabilitating entire blocks at once. And they've streamlined the whole process so that they're giving developers and or people much easier access, streamlining the whole process, getting rid of all the unnecessary red tape and everything else. And they're off and running. It's a really interesting story about how they buy these shells for $45,000. They put in $130,000 and they sell them for over $300,000. My niece just bought a. It's not totally rehab, but it's a nice part of Baltimore. We clearly wanted to make sure it was the safe part of Baltimore, but yeah, it's a nice, safe part of Baltimore, downtown Baltimore, and she's living the dream.
A lot of shotgun houses there.
Yeah. In the last few years, the city and state in Baltimore has launched a $3 billion plan to eliminate vacancies, offering subsidies to nonprofit developers and home buyers and repair grants for homeowners. When the people see a bunch of vacants, no one wants to live there. No one wants to invest there. The other thing they said in this article, which is kind of interesting, they said every development in the suburbs is a direct competitor to fixing up the houses in Baltimore.
Huh.
Right? Would you rather live in Cottleville in a nice new home? Or would you rather live in a burned out building that's rehabbed one on a block in North City? Right? I mean, what, right? Well, if you clean up the whole block, if you see more investments, all of a sudden, wait a minute, maybe this is a thing. And so there have been parts of the city that have been redeveloped. North City's not one of them. But you can do a lot if everyone sort of rows in the same boat together. So a really interesting story in the Wall Street Journal about Baltimore and how Baltimore is their crime is plummeting and their vacant homes are disappearing and people are moving back into Baltimore. Now, not everybody, grandma and grandpa living in town and country, you're not going to all of a sudden want to move to North City. But, young kids, kids out of college, kids are moving here to work at the geospatial company, right? They might find that lifestyle might be a little more suitable for them. So, interesting article about Baltimore in the Wall Street Journal. Check it out. It's good cause. All right, 314-931-5877, 314-931-5877. Text your comments, pithy and otherwise, to 84126. What do you want to talk about? We can talk about that Mayor Kara Spencer and the police department, or we can not. We can talk Trump, or we can not, which would be my preference. But whatever your little heart desires, whatever's on your mind, whatever you want to talk about the PGA or the BMW championships. And yes, they have to shut down the whole town for the PGA championship. I think it's kind of special. I think it's kind of fun myself. All right, 314-931-5877. And it text your comments to 84126. Let's talk to Muni. You going tonight, man? The weather's going to be great for the Muni tonight.
You'll see me.
It's the debut of Something Rotten.
Last night
was the debut of Something Rotten. This is the last run, right? This is it? This is
the
all
last
she wrote?
show before Lionel Richie.
Yeah. Oh, and then Lionel Richie. Me in St. Louis just finished up a great run. Now Something Rotten. Now, I have not seen Something Rotten. I have downloaded the soundtrack because the soundtrack's hilarious. And from what I can tell from the soundtrack, it's a play about Shakespeare. What about Shakespeare? And it's sort of a funny look at Broadway musicals and storytelling on Broadway. And they just sort of make fun of everybody. It's one of those make fun of everybody type of musicals, which are so much fun. Something Rotten has gotten rave reviews. And I believe this is the first time at the Muni. I still have yet to see it. I can't. Every time I try and get to see it, something comes up, and I haven't been able to. So I've had bad luck. But Something Rotten, a great way to end the Muni season, and the weather's going to be nice. That sun starts to go down. I'm not saying bearable. I'm saying nice. The weather is going to be nice out at Forest Park. So for tickets, muni.org, metrotix.com. But it is. Don't forget about Lionel Richie too at the end of the month. And then Something Rotten will finish out the season at the Muni. We'll see you there. Muni.org. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
McGraw, we have an accident on 70 East past Mid-Rivers Mall with a backup to 79. 64 West is jammed from Illinois 157 to 255. That's where the 64 West closure starts and continues to 15th Street in East St. Louis. Drivers are advised to take 255 north to westbound 5570. And road closures are in place around Belle Reve Country Club in Town and Country for the BMW Golf Championship. Ladue Road is closed between 141 and 270 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Sunday. And there are also closures along Mason Road near Whitfield School. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
The Big 550 KTRS is proud to be celebrating 30 years of being the talk of St. Louis and looking forward to another 30 years. But we want to hear from you and get your thoughts on what you like and don't like and what we can do better. Go to KTRS.com or to the KTRS app and take our 30th anniversary listener survey. We thank you in advance, and once you take the survey, you'll be registered for a chance to win one of 5 $200 Visa gift cards from the Big 550, the Talk of St. Louis.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar, United Healthcare, will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I want to buy your home. Any property, any condition, and always as is. I will pay top dollar with no contingencies and no inspections. You walk away with cash. So don't waste time and money making repairs and paying real estate commissions. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. Or go to robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Hey, Heidi here for Capital Advisory Group. Jeff Zufall is their senior tax strategist and wealth advisor and author of 2 #1 best-selling books on tax strategy, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. We're excited that Jeff is joining the Heidi Glaus Show once a month for The Wealth Zone with Jeff Zufall of Capital Advisory Group. We'll discuss tax strategy and wealth planning. And for an even deeper dive, you can catch Jeff and Josh Saturdays at 3 on Keep What's Yours right here on the Big 550 KTRS. Find out more at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Jill Farmer here with Dan Head, owner of Patriot Build Sunrooms. Dan, why go on vacation these days when your favorite destination could be right in your own backyard?
Thanks, Jill. We can transform your deck or patio into the perfect place to relax and make memories with the Patriot Sunroom. A screen room, patio cover, power shades, outdoor kitchen, and much more. Now is the perfect time to invest in comfort, beauty, and lasting value. Enjoy more light, more nature, more life in a Patriot Sunroom.
Call 314-822-3232 for your free design consultation. Online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
Summer isn't over until you've experienced the 2026 DuCoin State Fair. Join the fun August 28th through September 7th in DuCoin, Illinois, with free gate admission every day. Enjoy thrilling carnival rides, mouth-watering fair food, livestock shows, family attractions, and incredible grandstand entertainment.
Featuring stars like Wiz Khalifa, Tyler Hubbard, Night Ranger, Russell Dickerson, and more.
Make memories the whole family will love. See the full entertainment lineup and plan your visit today at dsf.illinois.gov. That's the 2026 DuCoin State Fair, where Illinois comes together.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's get to it. Country Club Car Wash text line. What's the difference between what they're doing in Baltimore and gentrification? Gentrification is such an interesting phrase or word. And it has such a, I don't know if it's a negative connotation or a derogatory or what, but Joe, they're gentrifying the area. What is it? White people are moving in. Well, people are moving in. Yes, some of them may be white, but I'm going to get myself into trouble here. So we don't want white people moving in. Is that what you're saying? We don't want an area to come back. I mean, what's the alternative? How would you like to solve the problem in Baltimore if some white people don't move into Baltimore and buy up homes? What do you want? You don't want to sell them to white people? You don't want to sell them to black people? What you want to limit demand of these houses? What do you want? Tell me what you want. What percentage of white people are allowed to buy homes in inner city Baltimore before all of a sudden it's negative? I don't know the answer to that question. 3 and 4. Yeah, of course you don't want to talk about Trump. I don't want to talk about Trump because never mind. They haven't gotten to the block in Baltimore where Snoop and Chris buried all those bodies in the walls. Yes, they did. They came through that in season 4. The Wire is so good. They're juking the stats in Baltimore. They're juking the stats. That's why the murders are down. They're juking the stats. Here's the only problem with The Wire. This is a legitimate problem with The Wire. It is so good and so fantastic that you just want to keep watching it over and over again. You just never want. Once you get to the end, you just want to watch it again because you so fall in love with the characters and you so care about them and you're so heartbroken over them, about their successes and their failures. And at the end, you're like, wait, McNulty, come on, man, you're my bud, right? Yeah, the Wire is so, and there's not a clunker in the bunch. There's not a clunker episode. There's not a clunker season. 5 of the greatest seasons of television ever. And it's social commentary, and it's scary and heartbreaking that the people who are trying to do good are doing bad, and the people who are bad are doing bad, and the people who don't care are doing bad, and the people think they're doing good, but they're doing worse, right, than doing nothing at all. It's really one of the greats. 314-931-5877 or text your comments to 84126. You hit the nail on the head about The Wire. The big problem is it is now over. Yes, that's the worst part of The Wire is that it ended. Let's see here. I thought gentrification was wealthy, not white moving in. Whatever. White, wealthy, it's a negative connotation. It's good when a neighborhood starts to, quote unquote, gentrify. Right? You take a bad neighborhood and all of a sudden it's a good neighborhood. Okay, there are right? There's the life cycle of a neighborhood. It starts off, usually it's the gays. Right? The gays buy the cheap places, make it hip and cool, and all of a sudden then more people want to live there and more people want to live there, and all of a sudden now, and at some point, you sell the building for $10 million that was purchased for, $100,000 10 years ago. I get it. I understand all the social aspect of it, but somehow gentrification is bad. Don't we want to clean some of these places up? Don't we want to fix them? Let's see here. Good time for the just announced Habitat for Humanity project just north of Delmar. Who runs the auction now that Margie Price is no longer there? Well, Margie Price. Yeah, it's a good question. Mark Moser's doing a lot of the work for us. I want the Macon Bacon T-shirt. Let's see here. I called Country Club Car Wash on Sunday. Cassie answered. I asked her if it'd be okay for me to bring in my little poodle into the building to get the car wash. She stated yes, as long as you bring her into the cashier area so we can all see her. So friendly and wonderful car wash. Excellent as well. Well, there you go. One of the best things about The Wire is it brought us Idris Elba. Here's another one. Comes to mind when I hear about The Wire. And I can't, there's no way that actor just died. The crooked politician who was, he he didn't even walk upright. That guy was so crooked. And he died not too long ago. He had a couple of bit parts in Law and Order. He played he was a guilty guy. They all played guilty guys at some point in Law and Order. But then there was another one that came out, and it was with that actor who was so great. The guy who spent some time in jail. Let me think of the man's name. It was called Our Town or This Town or something. And it was like
Our Town's the play.
Our Town's the play. It was like This Town but it was a story. It was like a 6-part spinoff on Baltimore. And it was sort of inside. It was about a rogue cop inside Baltimore. And the actor's name was, he's been in a couple of things. He was in Ford versus Fiore. Ford versus Ferrari.
So was it We Own This City?
Yes, that was it. Who's the actor?
So We Own This City was John Bernthal. But
John Bernthal, yeah.
He's in the new Spider-Man movie right now.
John Bernthal. That guy is a great actor. And he spent some time in jail. He had himself a bit of a tough start. Needed to get hit on the head a couple times to knock some sense into him. But he was sitting in jail, apparently, and one day I was like, this is not the life I want to live, and got out and started to become an actor. And now he's a phenomenal actor. He plays a really, really bad guy.
He's the Punisher in the Marvel universe.
He's in that We Built This City. He's a really, really bad guy and has played some really bad guys. That's why he's a great actor, because when you see him, like, oh, I don't like that guy.
I'm scared of him.
That guy's a jerk. You're like, well, wait a minute. That's the character he plays. Where was I? Was it James Woods? It was James Woods, I think, who has played some creepy characters in his day.
Mississippi Burning.
He has played. I mean, very rarely does James Woods ever play like a nice guy. Even his nice guys are like creepy. And I saw an interview with James Woods shortly after Rob Reiner passed away. It was on Fox. And he couldn't have been any more open and honest and caring and heartbroken over Rob Reiner passing away. And they talked about their political differences, but they were the best of friends, and how Rob Reiner saved his career on numerous occasions, and how he has the ultimate love for Rob Reiner, and he's just heartbroken over the whole Rob Reiner story. I mean, I just thought he was a creep because he played creeps, but he turns out he's a really, really nice man. He's just a genuinely caring man. It was a really interesting story.
I said Mississippi Burning. It was Ghosts of Mississippi.
Ghosts of Mississippi.
That's where he got Oscar nominated for playing the white supremacist.
Yes. He was in a movie called Boost, where he played just this coke fiend. That was a good movie. He played I Am Bill W., the story of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a great movie. And he plays Bill W., the guy who helped start Alcoholics Anonymous. Even in that, he's just a nasty drunk. I mean, obviously, just a nasty, nasty drunk. He was in Contact. He played the swarmy government official in Contact. I mean, that's what he does. He plays swarmy guys, but just a really good, turns out to be a really nice man. 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your pithy and interesting comments to 84126. 937 here. Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk the Ronald McDonald House Charities, because it's one of the great local charities here in town. Their mission could not be any simpler. What is their mission? Their mission is to create a home atmosphere for the parents and the families of the kids who are being treated at local area hospitals. Simple, right? But much more difficult when you put the rubber to the road. They have 2 houses, 92 bedrooms, and they provide that home away from home for families traveling to St. Louis for their child's medical care. They have 2 locations, one just off of Highway 40, Midtown there. The other one right off Ballas Road, right by Mercy Hospital. And last year alone, they had a total of 5,000 families visited in-hospital family rooms, totaling 62,000 visits for respite and relief. 5,000 families, 62,000 visits. The people come from 31 different states, 19 countries. 88% of the guests come from Missouri and Illinois. And the average stay is 23 nights. Think about that for a second. They can't do it alone. They have 900 volunteers each and every year supporting the Ronald McDonald House charities and the programs, the Meals from the Heart, and all other special events, to name just a few. To volunteer your time, to give a little money, to help out a great cause, to help these families, rmhcstl.com. Ronald McDonald House Charities, rmhcstl.com.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
Hey, it's Julie Buck. Are you always struggling to find the perfect gift? Well, we have the solution for you. You can try a signature facial or a teen facial gift certificate. Have you heard about the Only Facial? They've got one in Clayton, DePere, Creve Coeur, Frontenac, St. Charles, Sunset Hills, U-City, Columbia, and Springfield Mo, Edwardsville, Illinois, and now open in Webster Groves and coming soon to Cottleville. This is a top-rated facial spa that only does facials, and there are no upsells and no gratuities accepted. One price for everything, and that price is $125. The signature facial consists of several steps customized to your unique skin types and concerns. The Only Facial is the best thing going. So check them out online at theonlyfacial.com. And if you're an esthetician, they're hiring at The Only Facial. Find out more about all of it on their website. It's theonlyfacial.com.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Fielder Electric Services has been serving the St. Louis area since 1987. Whether it's commercial, residential, or industrial, the licensed professionals at Fielder Electric will have you taken care of. Give them a call or visit them at fielderelectricservices.com.
The 38th Midwest Salute to the Arts invites you to a 3-day outdoor arts festival at Moody Park in Fairview Heights, Illinois, August 28th through the 30th. Visitors can immerse themselves in a celebration of art, enjoy local food vendors, and a kids' creation station. Join us for new waves of contemporary outdoor sculpture exhibit in partnership with Art Village Fairview. For more information, visit MidwestSalute.com. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Again, a little biased. My agenda is showing. Probably up there. I know I was criticized the last time I said this, but I'll say it again. It's got to be in the argument for the best albums ever released.
It's sold a lot of copies.
Sold a lot of. Okay, so you don't believe me.
And there are some good songs on it. I'm just tired of hearing some of them.
Some of them have been overplayed. That is true. What was the other? Oh, I was doing Def Leppard. One of the best albums ever. I got a lot of criticism for that.
You did.
Slippery When Wet. Look, You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, I'll Die for You, Raise Your Hand, Wanted Dead or Alive. My personal favorite, Never Say Goodbye. Oh, I love that song. It's funny I mentioned that because years ago, you would find a song on an album that wasn't released, but became a really good song.
Yes.
On the album. You don't do that anymore. You don't listen to albums the way you used to anymore. And so I downloaded this album the other day, and I was mowing the yard, and I was listening to the whole album. And I was like, wow, I used to like to listen to the whole album. And then you would, sort of pick and choose your favorites that, yes, you would have your one or two on the radio that everybody liked, but you would find that cut on that album that was kind of your own. And for this one, it was Never Say Goodbye. That was a great song.
It was a hit.
And then there was a Billy Joel song that I absolutely love. I mean, I love this song. And I don't think it ever got any airtime or any play. He never played. I've seen him in concert numerous times. He never plays it. I've never heard anybody else mention it. But the song, Leave a Tender Moment Alone.
Yeah, that was on The Innocent Man.
By Billy Joel.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a great song. It's those sort of songs that you sort of, you just sort of, I don't know, you have your own personal connection with that because, I don't know, you just sort of found it while you were not doing your math homework in 11th grade. Right? Leave a Tender Moment Alone. It's such a sweet song.
That was the last single released off of Innocent Man.
Really?
Yeah, so there were already 4 other hits.
Yeah. It's just a great,
Sorry, it was the 6th single.
6th. It was just a great song. It was just do you have that? Pull it up, that song. Pull up that song.
By.
It's such a heartfelt, quirky, innocent song about a guy struggling to sort of talk to a girl.
It was a #1 hit like on KZK. That's
I don't know what that means.
Adult contemporary.
Oh, okay. It was
it wasn't pop. It was
#1 on Spotify. I don't know what that means. All right, listen to this. Again, it's that piano I'm gravitate towards. Was that a little harmonica there too, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
One of the great things about music, and it's sort of like smells, is the music. It's got to do something to your brain where it can transform you or transport you back to a certain space and time and place and age. I know exactly where I was, when I was, what car I was driving, where I was going, what I was wearing, listening to that song, and just having a moment.
If you ever watched House, that was how Wilson and House met. So somebody else liked this song well enough to use it on the medical show.
What,
House.
that song?
Yes.
Oh, really? The same with smells, right? My grandmother had mint in her breezeway.
They say your brain remembers smell the most.
So every place I've ever lived, I always have a mint growing in a pot, not in the ground because it'll overtake the rest of your garden. I always have it in a little pot. And every time I smell the mint, right, you just take a leaf and you roll it up in your hands and you smell it, and it just like a time machine, like a DeLorean. It just falls you back into being at 10 years old in grandma's breezeway, and you're like, oh man, that smell, right? It's just the smells, the sights, the sounds. I mean, that's what's amazing. And as I've said before, there's nothing better than an old friend. Nothing better. And there's no way to replicate it. There's no way to AI it. There's no way to find it on social media. But it's time with old friends who've been through the wars you haven't seen in 10 years, and all of a sudden you're sitting at a bar somewhere, you're sitting on the back porch and you're telling old tales. There's nothing better. Nothing better. Put your phone down and make some friends. Do we have to break, or can we keep going?
Keep going.
Oh, I'm going.
Take it all the way.
Oh, I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way. Connor McCarthy here on the big 550 KTRS.
Left his water bottle in here yesterday.
Oh boy.
Got vodka in it.
Oh boy. Let's talk Bowen Dental Care. Simply Secure Dentures. BOAIN. Bowen Dental Care. 2 locations, 1 great family. Dr. Bowen is great. Why? Because he's a family-run dentistry. He'll do all the traditional teeth whitening, teeth cleaning, Invisalign, caps, you name it. But he also does implants. Whether it's a one-tooth problem, you got a cracked tooth, bad tooth, bit down on some hard candy, and you got to get a new tooth. Yeah, he can do that, but he can also do a full mouth, which is great because you go to a corporate dentist, you'll meet with the finance person 4 or 5 times. You'll never meet with the actual dentist, which kind of is disappointing. But at Bowen, you'll meet with Dr. Bowen. He'll sit there, he'll hold your hand, he'll walk you through all the consultation. Then when you're ready, he'll be doing all of the work. So you'll know the dentist. You'll know his bedside manner. He looks like Derek Huff, which apparently, since I've been mentioning he looks like Derek Huff, his phone calls have been going through the roof. He's happily married to a lovely, lovely dentist who works in the office. Bowen, BOAIN, or simply securedentures.com. Let's go back to the text line here. Another great song is Big Man by Mulberry Street by Billy Joel. Paul Schaefer used it as the entrance for the David Letterman show.
They did a great scene of that on Moonlighting. They took that Billy Joel song and he even re-recorded it for them.
Big Man on Mulberry Street?
Yeah, that's on the
I'm sure I've heard
album.
I'm sure I've heard it. Let's see here. You clearly have not heard James Wood has done recently. He is allegedly tried enticing an underage girl to go on a trip with him and to get on a plane with him. He was called out about it and since deleted the entire social media. Instead of addressing the allegations and denying it, he just ran away. I don't believe it. I mean, it's not that I don't believe it. I haven't seen that story, and I would probably be a bigger story, but I don't buy it. If it's true, it's terrible, obviously. Listen when the Billy Joel channel is on satellite radio. He explains the songs and why it was written. Billy Joel's got a documentary out.
4 hours.
It's great. If you're a Billy Joel fan, it is great. He tells all the tales. And apparently he told Christy Brinkley, when the camera people went to interview her, he said, tell it all, warts and all. And so she told it all, warts and all. And talks about how was it his brother-in-law who embezzled all of his money from him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he earned it and lost it and earned it back again. Tougher Than the Rest is a great Springsteen song. All right, good. Agree. Leave a Tender Moment Alone was criminally underplayed on radio. I'm with you, McGraw. I have Spotify and download tons of albums to listen to. I like Keishi, but KBDZ plays more of the obscure songs from albums.
That's Rich's station.
Oh, all right. Nobody's Girl by Bonnie Raitt. That never gets any airplay. It's one of my favorites. Nobody's Girl by Bonnie Raitt. This is a great little... We should do this more often. Obscure songs you love. Counting Crows August and Everything After by Green Day Dookie.
Those are 2 different albums.
Okay. Their next follow-up album, New Jersey, to me was even better.
That's Bon Jovi.
I don't know that one was.
It's got
I like
Medicine.
I like the one before this, the Bon Jovi.
7,800 Fahrenheit?
I like that one for some reason. Let's see here. McGraw, if I'm not getting you in trouble, I'm not doing my job.
That's a job?
Yeah. I get what you're saying, that the song reminds me of sitting on a toilet, a.k.a. Oh, really great. This from the text line here. Let's see here. Gentrification is not about white people moving into areas. Here's another one. Get your buddy Paul McKee to start building up all the buildings he's sitting on in the city that he got at a deep discount or a steal from the previous mayor. Other than geo-mapping agency, he has not developed a single neighborhood for family housing. Well, first of all, I don't know if he got a sweetheart deal from the last mayor. He bought those houses on the open market from people who were looking to sell. He did get some tax credits from the state to help redevelop. He did cobble all that land together for the mapping agency. The only thing he did was the mapping agency. Well, that's a pretty good legacy. I mean, that's not terrible. He had the hospital that people refused to go to because they didn't like the name. He had a grocery store that he put in there with zero subsidies, I believe, that ultimately went belly up. So, I mean, the man has put his money where his mouth is, and he's had to deal with 10 years worth of lawsuits, which probably cost him a pretty fortune. So, all in all, I think the mapping agency is not just he only did the mapping agency. He was the one who amassed all the land together to get that contiguous land that was able to then be cobbled together to build the mapping agency. So, Turn the Lights Back On is a great Billy Joel song. Hits home every time. Love is the Answer by Todd Rundgren. I love that. Love is the Answer. That is a great song. Todd Rundgren. I didn't know Todd Rundgren at all until I met John Carney.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I heard the song, but I didn't know Todd Rundgren. I couldn't have told you anything about that. But Todd Rundgren is a very... But he's not. He's just a very... Love is the Answer.
Yeah.
Todd Rundgren.
It's a great song.
Yeah. This is a great song.
40 years ago today, Slippery When Wet came out.
Imagine going to the Slippery Rock campus to play Slippery When Wet. I don't know what that means. All right, we're done. Thanks for putting up with me. As always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take it away, Bon Jovi.